We've got an excellent matchup for you here at Wake Competition Center in Morrisville, North Carolina tonight as the NC State Ice Pack play host to the Kentucky Wildcats. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you here on PackTV. And Nick, as I mentioned, going to be an excellent game here tonight. Two teams that finished in the top 10 of the Southeast rankings of Division II ACHA hockey last year, so it should be a great matchup between these two teams. And actually, when they were up in Kentucky last year, NC State stole a shootout win as well.
Yeah, NC State coming off a big win 2 weeks ago against ECU here in Invisalign Arena. They struggled a little bit last week against Liberty, but Kentucky, for them, they're coming off a loss as well against a pretty decent Boston University team. However, we did talk to the coach before a game. He mentioned how they didn't really play much of their seniors. They tried their new freshmen out. That's why they had that 4-3 overtime shootout loss.
Yeah, that was something we talked about with NC State. That ECU game was kind of rotating through some guys, giving players who don't get as much time some chance to get a feel for the ice early on in the season. And so, as you mentioned, a 1-1 weekend for Kentucky. But looking at NC State, you mentioned the loss to Liberty. Even though it was a kind of a hefty loss, 7-2, was really an early stretch in that second period where Liberty was able to really balloon the lead from 1-0 up to 4-0 really quickly. And NC State, other than that, played them pretty evenly.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Huey last night at practice, and he said, look, after that second period onslaught, we played them evenly. It was a very good performance from our guys. There's a lot to be proud about, and they should be very proud about.
One of the things to be proud about was the performance of Eric Daniel. He came in, only gave up a couple of goals, and about 2 periods of work in that Liberty game looked really good. To me, he looked really good in practice last night. He was on point. All the rebound control was there. He was pushing the puck to the corners or up into the netting, so he looked really sharp, and as a result, he's got the start tonight. Yeah,
Daniel came in with about 15 minutes left in that second period, played the rest of the way through, only allowed 2 more goals, both in the third period. A lot of proof tonight. He looked good in that ECU game here back at Invisalign Arena 2 weeks ago. He's got a lot of proof tonight, trying to show that he's a true #1 goalie that the Ice Pack are looking for.
Yeah, and he's going to have a tall task against a very good Kentucky team. We'll take a look at that Kentucky team and how they match up against your Ice Pack on the other side. NC State and Kentucky matching up in hockey when we come back.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you on PackTV as we get set for NC State and Kentucky here at Invisalign Arena. And Nick, we're talking about how this Kentucky team is going to really test NC State tonight. And one of the biggest tests, I think, is going to come between the pipes. Riley Allen, great netminder for this Kentucky Wildcats team, has some really great numbers, and he's used to an atmosphere like we have here at Invisalign Arena.
Yeah, Riley Allen had a fantastic opener for Kentucky. Didn't play the last game they played against BU. However, he saved 20 of 21 in that opener, had a save percentage of .945, and his all-time record is 13-4. He is he's not very used to playing in empty arenas. He's very used to playing in environments like this. He's up for the tall task tonight.
And one group that's going to try and put the puck past them tonight is the line that is starting up front for NC State. That includes Emery Oliver, as well as Joey Govea, and Kaufman in there as well, Cam Kaufman in there as well. That is a great lineup. I thought there was great chemistry in that ECU game between Govea and Kaufman, and they're really going to have to step up here, I think, as that second line and produce.
Yeah, Kaufman got the scoring started last week in Liberty with that opener goal. Govea, we've raved about him a lot. Coaches also raved about him. He's got great vision. He's an all-around player. He could score. Doesn't have any goals on the year yet, but he's got 4 assists. Definitely someone to keep an eye out on tonight.
Well, the two teams are just about set to take the ice and get this thing started. We're going to take one more break here on PackTV. When we come back, we'll have puck drop between NC State and Kentucky here on PackTV.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi back with you on PackTV. As you can see, they're announcing the starting lineups, and we're going to throw it down to the ice. We have the national anthem for the start of this one.
How he really loves the environments that both these teams put on. Teams are very used to playing in front of sold-out crowds. We have a pretty close to sold-out out tonight, which is very, very good for the Ice Pack, considering there's a football game going on and there's bad weather. Should be a fantastic game. They got set up. Both coaches have a lot of respect for each other. They mentioned even some stories that they had the last time the Ice Pack traveled up to Lexington.
Yeah, I think it was a nice big gallon of unsweet tea for head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack that was sitting there waiting for him, but the two coaches certainly friendly. It won't be quite as friendly for the next about 2.5 hours or so, I would imagine, as these two teams get set to square off. NC State with a whiteout tonight. You'll see some special T-shirts. I believe it's the first 100 fans in the building tonight got a free whiteout T-shirt. NC State in those white. Go after it. Banked up the near wall, past Ricky Frosch, some speed out of the zone for Kentucky. Quick shot in, it'll be directed wide by Eric Daniels. He mentioned Daniel with a solid performance in relief of Isaac Toyer up at Liberty last weekend, and he gets the start here this evening. Kaufman dumps it deep. He'll chase it down behind the net, swings it around the boards, and it's not going to get back to the defense. Kentucky shuts it down along the wall. Stalled out in the neutral zone, and a whistle. Looks like a hand pass. And that will stop play in neutral ice. As expected, though, fast pace early, Nick.
Yeah, I was about to say that there, Chris. Both teams hustling up and down the ice. We're going to see a lot of mid breakaways. I think that's going to be a big key to this game. The back check and the forward check. The Ice Pack were practicing both of those last night, trying to get a better read on it. Both of these coaches definitely know that it's going to be a fast-paced game.
That'll be Kentucky off the draw, sending it deep. NC State sets up the breakout behind their own cage. Kentucky content just to let them move it up here. One touch pass through the middle. Herman able to find his teammate in Philip Bailey, but Pack come in off sides, and the face-off will come out on top of the Kentucky blue line.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the fast-paced nature of this game is going to be the Ice Pack sitting behind the goal for a couple of seconds, waiting to get something to break out. Once again, nice strong goal for the Ice Pack.
That'll be Herman to take the draw for NC State up against Cameron Chabot of Kentucky. Chabot, a transfer out of Indiana Tech, new to the team. He's one that head coach Pergram expects to be a contributor on this squad this year. NC State holds on the blue line, deflected in front. It hit a couple of sticks and then popped up over the net. Good chance there for the Ice Pack early. They'll sustain the forecheck. Bailey behind the goal. Spins with it, sends it up the wall. Labrizzi throws it towards the net, directed wide by Herman. He'll swat it back to the blue line. McEnany head up, takes the shot. It'll be swallowed up by the glove of the netminder in Riley Allen.
Really good chance there for the Ice Pack. Deflected up by Philip Bailey. Ice Pack are going to look for a lot of those slot shots, try to get bodies in the blue line or something like that. They kind of struggled a little bit last week. However, this is Kentucky team. They're definitely going to try to set the tone early.
McEnany on the draw for NC State. Over to the far wall. Turnaround shot. Sent wide by Nick Shook. NC State, good pressure here early. The majority of play has been down in the Kentucky zone so far. They'll look to break out. Good forecheck there from Bresingham, though. He'll find Shook on the near wall. Fans on the shot. Loose puck. High slot. Shook has it and throws it wide. Comes hard off the wall, and it will skitter all the way out to neutral ice. Jackson Cowan resets for NC State. D. James back to Cowan. Pass up that far wall, intercepted. Bresingham will collect the loose puck and slap it in. But again, NC State doing a great job here. One thing that the coaching staff of Kentucky told us, Nick, before the game is they wanted to try and dictate the flow of the game, the pace that both teams are playing with. And so far, it feels like NC State here in the first 2+ minutes have been the team dictating the pace.
Yeah, and that's something that Kentucky did not want to this game. However, we did just see right in front of us. Give it a couple shots and the rest of it. Known as a very physical team.
Well, that was always one thing that was a subject of discussion as Slapper floats past Daniel. They'll have to guard the post as NC State collects the loose puck in a danger area. They have trouble breaking it out. Does just slip it in the neutral zone, and after a little bit of chaos there, it's NC State emerging with it. Sent to the middle by Todd. Slides all the way into that far corner. Aiden Brenner over there to help. He's upended. Couple players go down. Play will continue as Brenner bodies up his man. Was Boyajian, pardon me.
Finds a man in front. Nice save made by Allen. He's going to knock it down with the glove and hold on. But an excellent chance there for NC State. As you mentioned, Nick, Aiden Brenner, good shift.
Yeah, it was a very good shift. But how about that last shot? Not a good shot, but like we mentioned, this is going to be Riley Allen's game. There's a reason why he saved There's a reason why he has a 14-3 career record. He just put it on display right there.
Yeah, that was really good rebound control to keep it in front of him. NC State will control off the offensive zone drop. Pinned to the wall here is Herman. Dispossessed, it'll be lifted out of the zone and collected by number 19, Colin Costello. Sends it right in on Daniel. Rebound is there, and it's swatted wide by D'Amico, captain of this Kentucky team. Send it down into the near corner. NC State returns it back up the wall. It'll be swatted back in once again. Puck thrown up through the middle. NC State captain Garrett Arini, skate to stick, and it's Herman, and his pass to the middle deflected wide. NC State will hold the zone. Thronson swats it in. First one to it is Philip Bailey of NC State. Sends it to the middle off the stick of Arini, and Arini turnaround shot in the slot goes wide. NC State doing a great job just getting it to the middle of the ice, creating some chaos, and getting chances out of it. Here's Thronson through traffic, bouncing puck, steered away again by Riley Allen. And now NC State looks like they'll have to retreat as Kentucky clears and goes off for a change. Not a lot of time. Labrizzi moving forward, takes the shot. It just missed the near post and skitters back out into the neutral zone. Cowan all the way across, rink wide for Bailey. He'll lift it in and head off for a change. But again, we're about 5 minutes in now, Nick. Shots are showing 3-3, but play has certainly favored the Ice Pack.
They have, and the Ice Pack offensive pressures. Another great forecheck there, but Ice Pack puck almost went out of play. How about that last shift by Philip Bailey? Had a couple chances in front, and he kept going in. Got a good neutral zone turnover as well. A couple guys on the Ice Pack right now. They're playing very, very hard, while Kentucky, they look a little sloppy in this first half. Can't really get those crisp passes, and I think that's contributed by the Ice Pack being able to work on that forecheck last night, and it seems like it's paid off so far.
Yeah, the feel of the game is a lot like that forecheck and back-checking drill that they were working on last night. This is going to be an opportunity, though, here for Kentucky to try and establish themselves in the offensive zone. Cam Chabot wins the draw for the Wildcats, back to the blue line. Shot hits a skate on the way through, and the man who blocked the shot, Govea, will move it forward. Hands it off at the blue line. Shot coming, big hit, and just dodging a dangerous hit there was Emery Oliver, and now the puck will be lifted up into the netting and out of play. But if you're Oliver there, that was a little bit of a dangerous situation. Kind of had his head down, looking at the puck as he went to take the shot, and fortunately he was able to look up and get out of the way in time.
Yeah, that's something you do not want to see, especially for the Ice Pack, already missing a player tonight. Just got to keep that head on a swivel, especially in front of the net.
Govea and Chabot on the draw. Chabot wins it for Kentucky as the puck slides back underneath their goal line. Emery Oliver on the forecheck in the corner. Can't possess, and now Kentucky can move out through neutral ice. Plenty of space to move through for Quattrapella. Looking to the middle, backhand pass steered away by Eric Daniel. Now they'll go after it behind the net now. First one to it is Cowan of NC State. Oliver pushes it up the wall to be collected by Govea. He trips over his own skates, picks it back up, takes the shot and rings it off the iron. Great chance there for Govea. Pass to the middle, stolen away by Kate Cox. Looking to the middle for Kaufman, and it'll be cleared away by Kentucky. Couple of good opportunities there for NC State.
How about the man who had the first goal last week at Lynchburg? Kaufman did a very good job at that last chance. Hit the iron actually on that last shot. Saw a similar play that how he got that goal against Liberty.
Now NC State comes in offside. Cox just a little bit slow crossing the line, and starting to see a little bit of that chippiness as both teams going at it a little bit there. Cade Cox wasn't shying away from the contact after the whistle, and that was one thing that head coach Tim Healy said about this team is there's a little bit more of that grit, a little bit more of that physicality in this lineup. They're not, going to be pushed around quite as much as they have been in past years.
Yeah, and Coach Healy also mentioned how at Liberty last week, he mentioned that they were a stronger team. They were a more physical team. However, the Ice Pack did a really good job at matching it. They were giving hits back, defensive hits back, and that's something that Coach Healy really, really liked that he saw last week.
offensive zone face-off here for NC State. Do a little maneuvering to set up something here off the draw potentially. McInerney on the draw in the near circle, straight back to Cox. He'll walk the line, looking for space, fires away. It hits the shoulder of Allen and pops out into the slot. Nobody in a white jersey able to get to it. Good pinch there from Cox to send the puck back deep. And NC State will hold the zone again. Ricky Frosch forces his way down that far wall. Met there in the corner by Boyashkin, who tries to clear it out and can't. NC State just doing a great job of holding their offensive blue line as Kentucky does finally elevate it out to neutral ice. Cox at the red line, gloves it down, bodies flying here in front of the Kentucky bench, but NC State going back to work. Nick Shook has it poked away. He'll retrieve it back at the blue line and send it into the zone.
Oh, we just had a swing. Nick Shook just took a shot.
Yeah, Shook went right back at Parker Rice, and we'll see how long we stay at 5-on-5 hockey as Kentucky ices the puck, and it looks like they're going to take two here. And this is not a surprise, as waiting to see who they'll put in the penalty box. I'm not sure who exactly it was that went at Nick Shook. Maybe not. They're just, pardon me, they were actually just checking the lines because they have to send those same tired bodies back out after the icing. I thought they might have been taking two there, though, to try and settle things down, because we've seen a few hits away from the puck or after the puck was gone from that area. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how things progress from here.
Bit of a conversation going on, but Cox took a shot right up against the Kentucky bench. That's when another Iceback player, I can't remember who it was, fell on top of them. And then the Kentucky players are going for a line shift on top of Cox. Looked like Cox was hurt. Ref was asking if he was okay. I don't know if he got stepped
Kentucky.
on.
Got a chance here on a 2-on-1. Sent to the middle. Well played by Labrizzi, and the loose puck pounced on by Eric Daniel. And here we go again on the side of the NC State net. Ice Pack doing a good job defending their netminder there. But again, it'd be interesting to see how long these little skirmishes go. None of them have gone over the top at this point. But you can feel that temperature rising, that the water's starting to bubble a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like the referee should have probably gave a penalty out to Nick Shook. He did give a punch, or an attempt of a punch at a Kentucky player. The referees are probably going to have to take control of this game sooner or later. I would have liked to seen it a lot earlier with that shot Shook took.
Here comes NC State with some speed. Herman looking to the middle, fans on the pass. Kentucky picks it up. They'll move it out into the neutral zone. Colin Holt sends it off the wall and into the NC State end. Labrizzi will retreat for it. NC State has to reset. Philip Bailey in the near corner. Sent up the wall, off a skate, kept in the zone at least momentarily by the Kentucky defense. Now NC State looking to stretch it out. Pass a little bit long from McConaughey. Thronson back for it. Stretches it through the middle. Herman touches it for Arini, who's got speed. Has Herman behind him, takes the shot. That's blocked at the defense. Well played by Holtz, and now Kentucky can move back forward. Brett Quinn has it poked away at the blue line. Loose puck. NC State comes away with it. We've played 8 minutes here at Invisalign Arena. Still scoreless. Thronson into the offensive zone. Across for Bailey, looking to the middle. That pass denied, but Bailey maintains possession. Works with it behind the net, looking over his options. Back to the blue line. Wrist shot. Whistled wide there by Scott Daniel. NC State, though, continuing with the pressure. Aiden Brenner gets some help in the corner as Daniel has it taken away. Now some space for Kentucky to move here. Down that far wing, looking to the middle. Denied nicely by the NC State defense. That was Alex James. He's still in possession. Ill-advised pass. He turns it over in the NC State slot, but the Pack able to get it back, and it's James again. Moves it forward. Aiden Brenner has some speed, takes the shot, and it'll be swallowed up by Allen. But we're starting to see Kentucky get a few opportunities, and this game's kind of going back and forth a little more.
Yeah, and it seems like their only kind of sense of offense right now has been those breakaways. However, on that last breakaway, Daniel Scott lost his stick, and he went back for it, leaving his fellow defenseman left alone on that 2-on-1. Very lucky, though, that Kentucky just could not capitalize on it.
Gouvet on the draw for NC State, but it'll be won by Mark LaRue of Kentucky. Frosch holds the zone on the near blue line. Swatted back across the ice by Rakitic. Can't clear the zone again, though, for Kentucky. Looking to the middle, Gouveia. His pass deflects back for Frosch. Down the half wall for Kaufman, who's bodied up. Loose puck behind the goal now. 2-on-2 battle. Kaufman collects. He'll sweep it around the wall. Oliver unable to get a touch to it. Gouveia in to help. He'll be dispossessed. Bouncing puck over on the far wall. Oliver puts a body into his man, and looked like Kaufman lost his stick and couldn't help out, so Kentucky alleviates some pressure, at least momentarily. And you got to love the way this NC State forecheck is continuing to put pressure on in the offensive zone, Nick.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it seems like Kentucky's only offense right now is those big 2-on-1 breakaways, and even then the Ice Pack are doing a good job getting back. That forecheck has caused a lot of neutral zone and even offensive zone turnovers, giving them a lot of chances and a lot more shots right now. They've got 7. Kentucky's still at 3.
Beautiful rink-wide pass. Looking to the middle, Oliver through the skates of a Kentucky defenseman. Gouveia tracks it down. Back to the blue line for Cox. Steps to the middle of the slot, throws one towards the goal, and it catches the pad of Allen. Kentucky able to push it up and out again. They have not had a lot of occasions where they've been able to possess through the neutral zone, though. Send in on goal. Easily handled by Daniel. A shot coming from Dan Cortapella. And it'll be an offensive zone draw here for Kentucky.
That last offensive zone push there, Chris, by the Ice Pack. Oliver was looking across for Gouveia, who we mentioned in the pregame. Couldn't get that pass there, but if he did, it was an easy one-timer on the stick side of Riley Allen.
A little bit of a scrum for the defensive zone draw. NC State comes away with it. Labrizzi sent up the middle. That one didn't get out. Kentucky trying to go back to work on the offensive end. Swept up the wall by McEnany. Running over his man nicely was Nick Shook. Can't maintain possession, though, as Bresingham knocks his man down from behind. And now NC State looks like it's going to have a penalty to kill. There's an arm up in that near corner for the hit by Bresingham from behind. Extra attacker out for Kentucky as they possess. Sent back behind the net. Loose in front. A scrambling Eric Daniel able to direct it away. Out to the high slot. Shot coming. Blocked by Bresingham. Kentucky maintaining the pressure, though. Into that far corner. And finally, NC State gets a touch on it. But Bresingham going to the box here in NC State with a crucial penalty kill coming up here. A little over 11 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like we said before, Bresingham got into it right in front of the Kentucky bench earlier. I'm not sure if that was the same person that he got into it with before, but nil-advised penalty in the neutral zone right after McEnany made a good legal hit to get that puck back.
So 2 minutes for Bresingham. NC State hoping he stays in there for the entirety of this Kentucky power play. Wildcats win the draw. Held at the line by Burke. He'll get it back. Sent down along the wall. Rink wide, open space here. Shot blocked. Well played by NC State's penalty kill as D'Amico's shot didn't get through. Cortapella circles the center ice with it. And they'll work it deep. NC State, just like they did with ECU, they're willing to let you work the perimeter. It's just a matter of keeping you out of that danger zone in the middle. Kentucky back up to the top. D'Amico sweeps it deep. He'll get it back at the blue line. 1:20 left on the power play. Bouncing puck handled by Daniel. He'll scramble over to the near post. Not sure if it got to him, but NC State will force it into the near corner. You see it up close as they battle for it. Kentucky comes away with it. Back behind their own net, circling with it. That's Costello. Bodied off the puck, and now NC State clears the zone halfway through this penalty kill. They'll get the change. And fresh bodies out for NC State.
Really good push there by Dan Cortapella on that last attack. That puck was loose in front. He just couldn't stick to the puck to knock it in. Kentucky's looked pretty good, though, on this attack, but as you said, Chris, NC State's going to let you push that perimeter. Oh, a big play there, almost going for the neutral zone turnover.
Puck will slide weakly in on Daniel. He'll cover it up for a face-off. 34 seconds left on the penalty to Drew Bresingham. Let's see what NC State's able to do here off the defensive zone try. You'd really love to win it and clear it out and alleviate some of that pressure. And Kentucky's gone back to the top power play unit here. Mark Leroux taking the draw against NC State's Joey Govea. 7:26 left in the first. And 34 seconds left on the power play for Kentucky. Drew pressing him in the box for a hit from behind. And NC State, as we said, would really like to win the draw and clear. It's exactly what they do. Kentucky down to 20 seconds on the man advantage. Loose pressure from Oliver. Pass taken off the wall over on the far side. And Kentucky jammed up at the NC State blue line. A lot of bodies over there on that far wall. And now Labrizzi takes it away. And NC State can move forward as the penalty comes to an end. Wristed in on goal by Govea. And after they kill the penalty, NC State now with an offensive zone draw.
And Labrizzi took a big hit there, and he's chirping it on the sideline right now. Right there, just at the bottom of the screen, can't really see it. Big hit, though, right against the boards, right against NC State's bench. That physicality coming up, that was Kyle Mead, the freshman for Kentucky, who made that hit.
Off the draw, Kentucky controls but can't clear. Swatted right back in by Thronson. Collected back by Tim Burke of Kentucky. He can't clear. Thronson sends it back in again. Shook looking to the middle. That pass stolen away. This time Thronson unable to hold the zone. Here's an odd man rush for Kentucky as they move forward. 2-on-1. Pass across, and it's just out of the reach of Nick Delaney. Kentucky, though, with a great chance there. Out in front. In the skates of a Wildcat. Still loose, and laying down in the snowman there was the goaltender Daniel, and his big body able to smother the puck there, but a little bit of a scare there for the Pack, Nick.
Yeah, Andrew Thompson kind of went straight for that puck at neutral zone when he had no numbers back. Big 2-on-1 break for Kentucky. They just couldn't get it across. Just fans wide. How about Eric Daniel going down on his back to save that puck? Was turned away from the play, too.
6:20 to go in the first. NC State controls off the draw, lifted off the glass and out. A chance to break here for Garrett Arini. He's got some help on the near side, and Bailey in the centering pass off a Kentucky stick and over to the near wall. Wildcats collect the loose puck. Move forward by Chabot. He's got space through neutral ice. Down that far left wing, looking to the middle, and they can't connect. Couple of chances right there in front that the Wildcats just haven't been able to direct on goal. NC State will break it out. Arini takes a hit to move it forward for Bailey. He has trouble controlling. And now NC State has to retreat. It's the captain, Arini. Looking through the middle. That pass deflected. Still loose. Arini gets back to it. Sweeps it forward for Herman. And Herman will send it deep. NC State in on the forecheck. It's been effective here in this first period, but Kentucky able to get in front of the pass and clear it. And now we've got icing, and keep an eye down in that corner. These two teams have been pushing and shoving after the whistle really all night already. And the official's going to get there and separate the two teams.
It seems like every time we have one of these scuffles going on, Kyle Mead, the freshman, is always in between all one of them. Great job, though, hustling, trying to beat out that icing. Very close there, but he gets knocked down. He took a little section. Actually, that wasn't Kyle Mead who was in the middle of that, but at the end of it, he's getting into it.
You can see why Kentucky was a little bit upset about that icing call. It's tough to see from that camera angle whether, where the whistle was blown and whether they were, I would imagine, at the hash marks is where the official made the call. But I believe it was Kyle Mead who definitely got in there before Ricky Frosch to get to the puck. But it will be an offensive zone draw for NC State. Scott Daniel to take the faceoff for the Pack. Wins it back to Todd. Throws it through the legs of his center man, and it's off of the leg of Daniel and wide. Bouncing puck still in the zone, though. NC State trying to go back to work as Brenner sends it to the near wall. Tracked down by Todd. He'll leave it for Daniel, who wristed one just wide of that far post. Pack hold it in at the blue line. Swatted towards the goal. Allen steers it back behind the goal, and they'll fight for it there. Good one-on-one battle right there behind the net. Wildcats win it, but it's Daniel with the pressure on the near wall to force it back behind the cage again. Good forecheck here from the Ice Pack as Labrizzi has some trouble with a bouncing puck and can't hold the zone. So Kentucky a little bit of relief. Pack trying to keep the pressure on as it's dumped in. Aiden Brenner on the forecheck. And he creates some chaos and steals it away. Lifts it to the middle, and a chance here for the Pack. And Govea unable to get the shot away. Ice Pack have a penalty or a power play coming up. Delayed penalty to the Wildcats. Looked like a slash. We'll see once play stops. Extra attacker is Herman, who has the puck. He'll cycle behind the net, looks to the middle, and that's where the Wildcats pick it up. And NC State now getting their first power play of the game.
And trying to see who's on the penalty. It's going to be Tim Burke, I believe. He's skating around the penalty box. He is coming in. He's played one heck of a game, though. He's been out there a long time. However, that last sequence there for the Ice Pack that led to that slashing penalty on him. He was trying to clear that puck out, and he ran into his own teammate. That gave NC State a really good chance, Chris.
So a 2-minute slashing penalty to Tim Burke. And NC State with their first power play of the game. Be pinned along that far wall. Kentucky does force it out into neutral ice. That will allow them a little bit of reprieve. Herman at his own blue line. Hands it off for Cox. He's got some speed up the near side. Chips it in and chases after it. Cox with it again in the corner. Turning behind the net. Walks it back to the half wall. Still Cox. Looking to the middle, nothing there. Decides to fire away, and it pinballs through and wide. Held in by Nick Shook. Thrown into the near corner where Herman can go after it. He finds Bailey. Back for Herman. And miscommunication there. Cox wasn't in the right place, or at least not where Herman thought he was going to be, and so NC State has to reset. 50 seconds gone on the man advantage. Still 3.5 left in the first period, looking for our first goal. Cox, beautiful pass across, and the save made by Allen on Shook. Took a little bit of time to load that up and get the shot away. Kentucky looking for a shorthanded chance as they come streaking down the near wing. Sent to the middle, bouncing pass. Skitters all the way to the far wall, and NC State will regroup there. 45 seconds left on the power play for the Ice Pack. Some speed here for Shook. He's got room through the middle of the ice. Steps around a defender, has a chance to shoot, and whistles one wide of the near post. It'll ring all the way around the boards, and now a chance to move back forward for D'Amico. On the penalty kill, he rips one up over the glove of Daniel. And NC State has it again, down to the final 25 seconds of the power play.
Really like their shots that Nick Shook took. Two really good chances, try to go 5-hole, and then he just missed wide. Don't know if it got a piece of the iron or not, but two really good chances for NC State, and they worked on that power play last night.
Kentucky lifts it out one last time. That should finish off the NC State power play as you hear the stick of Eric Daniel, or pardon me, that's actually Riley Allen letting his team know on the other end that they're back to full strength hockey, 5-on-5. Wildcats have it in the neutral zone. D'Amico sends it in the middle, and they're offsides. I think the pass was actually intended for Cortapella on the near side, and it was just kind of intercepted there by Mark LaRue. So face off on top of the NC State blue line here, and Nick, it certainly feels like NC State had the edge in the first 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes, but Kentucky has kind of tipped the tables back, and it's been a pretty even game since then.
Yeah, they have. I think they've had a lot more better chances. I think the chances, though, NC State has more of. Another good chance here for NC State.
Here it is. Bailey walking in. He scores just over the blocker of Allen, and NC State puts themselves up 1-0 with 2:01 left in the first.
We just mentioned it, Chris. NC State has had more chances than Kentucky. Kentucky has had the better chances, but that's the best chance of the game for Philip Bailey. We'll get a replay coming up in a second.
We didn't really get a look at that pass across the blue line, but it was the blue line pass that really opened up that play. Bailey was breaking down the near side all alone, and he just walks in and lifts it up over the shoulder of Riley Allen. So 2:01 to go in the first. NC State strikes first. Back to center ice for the faceoff. Wildcats control. And they'll work with it at the defense. Up the near side. Deflected in by Jack Knoll. 1:45 left in the period as NC State breaks out. Deflected in by the goal scorer Bailey. Bouncing puck. Directed back behind the goal, sent out in front and off the skate of Allen. NC State just peppering everything at the net. And now we've got another penalty coming up to Kentucky here. As you see Daniel leave the net. And see what the call is. Another slashing penalty, it looks like. I'm guessing it came behind the play. I did not see it. But it'll be Connor Underwood who goes to the penalty box.
Oh, and he is not too happy. His Gatorade bottle actually just exploded in there. There's water all over the glass. Not very happy about that call, especially since there's just 1:24 left in this period. If NC State can't score, they'll keep that power play, of course, for the second period. But they had a couple of good chances that first one, and now taking that penalty after you let up that first goal, it is a very frustrating thing to do. Man, Connor Underwood's still very upset down in that box.
Well, this is a chance if you're NC State. You got to smell blood here. You just scored the opener, and now you have a chance to double that lead late in a period. It'd be a big goal to get if they could, but the Pack in a pile-up off the draw, that'll create a chance here for Kentucky to move forward. D'Amico throws it to the middle. Daniel gets a hold of it and covers up. He tried to get rid of it, but official blew the whistle, and so a defensive zone face-off is, again, Kentucky kind of flipping the script on the penalty kill and getting a chance, another pretty good one in front, another dangerous one at least.
Yeah, it looked like Oliver and Kaufman, they collided and went down together. I can't remember who was trying to make that pass, but it allowed Kentucky to get that breakaway. And we've seen a lot of breakaways from Kentucky tonight. They're going to more than likely capitalize on one of them. They're just not being crisp enough on these breakaways. NC State has also had very similar ones as Govea try to work it through.
It'll be cleared out immediately by Kentucky as NC State gained the zone. A little bit of pressure from the UK penalty kill. NC State looking for some space. It's Alex James just walking it up the ice, down to 45 seconds left in the period. Zips it across, it'll be taken off the wall by Oliver. Back to the blue line, McConaughey. Tees one up, it got through Allen, but he's gonna squeeze and hold. Thought it might have just gotten behind it, but he's able to find it and hold on for the faceoff. Good chance there, and a great shot selection, I would say, there from McConaughey.
Yeah, McConaughey is right in front. It took him a while for that puck to get on his stick and wind up for that one-timer. Kentucky player nearly made the hit on him, but Riley Allen did not see that puck. It took that bounce, and he's very fortunate that bounce landed right between his legs.
NC State in control. Down to 30 seconds left in the period. James, bank pass down the wall for Govea. He finds Kaufman. They'll trade places. Govea again. Slides it through the middle, deflected on goal by Kaufman, and Allen had it sealed down low. Still time for NC State, down to 10 seconds left in the period. It's Kaufman again circling. Finds McConaughey, he'll walk in, takes the shot, and it'll be knocked down and covered by Allen with 4.1 seconds left in the period. And NC State, 40 seconds left in the man advantage, so if they don't put one in the back of the net here in these final seconds, they'll have 36 seconds on the power play to start period number 2.
Yeah, if you're NC State on this faceoff, you don't want to shoot it off draw, but they don't win it here. Kentucky's going to waste the rest of the clock, and that's how the first period will end.
So NC State with a goal from Philip Bailey, who came breaking in from the left wing and lifted it up over the blocker side of Riley Allen, is the difference after 20 minutes. And Nick, I think you got to be happy if you're NC State. You played a pretty solid period, survived some mistakes, and of course you're on top right now.
Yeah, and Kentucky made some mistakes as well. I think Kentucky, though, the 2 penalties, are very fortunate to come away with those unscathed. However, this NC State forecheck is the real deal tonight. It is causing Kentucky a lot of troubles. We saw them get a little away from it, but a lot of frustration on that bench right now from that forecheck from the Pack.
Well, as the 2 teams head to their respective locker rooms, the ice will get cleaned, and we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what happened in period number 1 and look ahead to the second 20 minutes. After the first period, it's NC State 1, Kentucky nothing.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
It's a 1-0 lead for the Ice Pack after 20 minutes here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you. NC State, solid start, Nick. I think the first thing we want to look at is, especially in those first 5 or so minutes, the forecheck for this team was really good. Yeah, it was a very long time for Kentucky to sustain something outside of those breakaway chances that NC State was kind of giving up. However, that forecheck from the Pack, it's been immenseful tonight. A lot of neutral zone turnovers early on for Kentucky, even defensive zone turnovers that gave the Ice Pack some chances. Now, they weren't able to capitalize, Chris, but later that period, we did see some capitalizing happen. Well, we saw both teams with some good chances. NC State maybe directed a few more on net. Daniel had to scramble a little bit in the NC State net to get on top of a couple as well. But for NC State, I think what you look at is the way that this period kind of ended and how the last about 10 minutes went, where you saw a few penalties get called. You saw both teams get some power plays. I think we're going to see a little more of that as this game goes on. And, of course, 36 seconds man advantage for NC State going into the second. Yeah, and I think one of the bigger things and the bigger stories of this game is the physicality. I mean, first 5 minutes, we saw a punch get thrown. No call for that. Did see a couple slashes, and the emotions are pretty high in that Kentucky bench. Can't say the same about that NC State bench. They seem a lot more composed, Chris, but at the same time, that can easily spill over. And we did see some players kind of get into it after the whistle. Yeah, and it's certainly going to be an emotional game and a very competitive game. We're going to step aside, though, here for just a moment. When we come back, we have the goal scorer, Philip Bailey, here on PackTV. Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Oh, stupid controller froze again.
Spending less money,
I was wondering if you guys wanted me. OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff the crime dog. He's a fake.
Oh! I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake, and so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. Let's take a bite out of crime together.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing it.
You are smart, kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
And we're back. I'm Delaney Kearns. Joining me is goal scorer Philip Bailey. Philip, what was your mindset going into tonight's game following the loss to Liberty last Friday?
Honestly, we knew we had to play hard. Liberty's obviously a really good team, and ECU, we had our way with them, and we knew this team was going to be really good. So the main thing Coach said today was just to play hard and physical, and we'd get it done.
All right. What are some things you guys think you could improve on moving into this next period?
Honestly, I think we're playing really hard. Just, keep the gas to the floor and keep playing hard. Everyone seems to be locked in.
All right. Another big turnout here tonight. How does the atmosphere affect you and the team while on the ice?
I think everybody kind of blocks it out once you're on the ice. You may be on the bench looking up and being like, wow, this is kind of crazy. But once you're on the ice, everyone's dialed in, and I don't think it bothers them too much.
All right. I'm Delaney Kearns. You're watching Ice Pack Hockey on PackTV. We'll be right back.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Lead for NC State over Kentucky after the first period. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here during the first intermission. Just heard from goal scorer Philip Bailey. It was a beautiful pass from Captain Garrett Arini that set that up and gave NC State this 1-0 lead. But I want to first, before we kind of get into the power plays that we've seen in the special teams situation to start this second period, but I want to take a look at the goaltending. I think both sides, the goaltending's been pretty good. Shots are 16-7 in favor of NC State right now. So Eric Daniel hasn't seen a lot, but the shots he has seen have come from dangerous areas right there in the low slot. Yeah, and even on that power play, Daniel had to work around it. One time he was on his back. He couldn't see the puck, but he did find it on his back. NC State, I think, has done a really good job defensively, though, keeping those pucks away from the net. Any shots are kind of going behind the net, doing a good job pressing them against the boards. So right now, NC State's doing a really good job to help out Eric Daniel. Kentucky, however, not the same for Riley Allen. Yeah, and Riley Allen, we talked about him in the pregame. It's a career .945 save percentage coming into this game, 14-3 overall record in 17 games. A very solid goaltender for this Kentucky team and someone they can rely on. And you can see why. His rebound control looked excellent in that first period, and he's a big reason why only one of those 16 shots ended up in the net. Yeah, and that one of 16 shots, of course, was the previous interviewee, Philip Bailey, getting that one across, and that was on a breakaway, one unknown. So he's done a fantastic job in net. There was one other time, though, where he did lose sight of the puck, but it got a little bit of luck there, kept it in front of him. However, NC State's made him work tonight, and from what we've seen so far, Riley Allen has shown that record and that save percentage is no fluke. Yeah, and NC State's certainly going to have a chance to make them work, at least for the first 36 seconds of this second period. They will start with a man advantage, and that's where I want to get into now, because we could see it. We talked about it early on before we saw a couple of penalties. It was getting physical a little bit after the whistle, which is going to happen in a game like this. Is a really meaningful game. One of the coaching staff of Kentucky told us before this game is that the winner of this game is going to be positioned really well to be in that top 5 ranking of the Southeast Division and be able to defend that. So it is an important game. You're going to see those emotions. As a result, we're probably going to see more penalties. We saw 3 in about the last 10 minutes of the first, so pretty good clip. I would expect to see some more. I think special teams is really going to play a role in this one. Yeah, from what we've seen so far on the 3 penalties we have seen, both teams have done a pretty decent job at defending and both on the attack. It's kind of been a little even, however. We've seen a lot more chances there created by Kentucky. NC State's had a little more trouble with it. They haven't had the puck in the offensive zone as much as Kentucky did. Kentucky kept it there for a full minute to start that power play, Chris, and they did struggle to get it back in there the last minute. However, they had a lot of good chances. Yeah, and so NC State going to have a chance to start the period with 36 seconds on the man advantage, as we said. We're going to step aside here for a moment. When we come back, we'll take a look at the keys to success in the second period for both of these teams. It's 1-0 NC State after 20 minutes here on PackTV.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson's Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Closing in on the start of the second period here at Invisalign Arena, Weight Competition Center in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you here on PackTV. It's a 1-0 lead for NC State, and we want to take a look at this second period and kind of what we expect to see. We talked about it a little bit. It's going to continue to be physical. Special teams probably going to play a big role in this one, but one thing we also hit on was the NC State forecheck, and they really caused problems for Kentucky. They're going to have to find a way, Kentucky is, to deal with that.
Yeah, and I think Kentucky's biggest issue that they're probably going over right now during the intermission, they've got to find a way to get all 5 guys across the ice. They've had a lot of good breakaways, 2 or 3 guys pushing it, but they can't get everybody across, and I think that's what's costing them a lot of good offensive zone time. Most of their time has come off that power play, Chris, and if they need to start working on that, the word I'm looking for, I can't really find it. They're trying to look for that fight back, I guess you could say, of that NC State forecheck, and they're having a hard time. So this intermission, they should definitely be going over that, see what they can do to fight against that.
Yeah, and on the NC State side, we talked about time on attack, plenty of it for the Ice Pack in the first 20 minutes. They're also going to have 36 seconds of power play time to start the second period, but you look at the shot total, 16-7, only a 1-0 lead. Of course, part of that is Riley Allen in net. He's looked good for Kentucky, but the other thing is, we talked about quality of shots and how NC State has held Kentucky to the outside. There are only a few really high-quality shots that NC State has had.
Yeah, and a couple of those were on the breakaways. They have been trying to work it in front, especially on the power plays, especially Philip Bailey has been in that slot right in front of the net trying to deflect them, but the shots that are coming in, they're coming from the point and around outside. Not high quality, like you said. They're very slow, a lot of traffic in terms of defensive players in front. And give credit to those Kentucky defenders, too. They've done a really good job blocking some of those shots, even some 2-on-1 breakaways. Tim Burke has done a fantastic job on those breakaways.
Yeah, he was one that Coach Pegram mentioned in pregame to us to watch out for on that defensive side of the puck for Kentucky. Well, we've got about 4 minutes left until the two teams are back out on the ice for period number 2. So we're going to step aside and come back with Puck Drop. NC State with a 1-0 lead over Kentucky here on PackTV.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here in Morrisville, North Carolina, home of your NC State Ice Pack. Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi with you on PackTV as we get set for the second 20 minutes between NC State and Kentucky. As you see there on your screen, a 1-0 lead for NC State. It was Philip Bailey in transition that was able to put the puck in the back of the net and give NC State that 1-0 lead. He'll be out there to start this period with the NC State power play unit. Looks like they'll have Zach Herman out there with Philip Bailey, Garrett Arini, Kate Cox, as well as Cade McConaughey. That'll be the 5 on the ice. 36 seconds of power play time for NC State, Nick, and so it'll be important for the Pack to get in and get established quickly.
Yeah, we've seen them have a couple of chances, like we mentioned during the intermission report. The quality of their shots have to be a little better. They don't have much time. They got 36 seconds, so probably 1 or 2 pushes coming from the Pack. If they can win this draw, though, in the neutral zone and get a good push, they'll definitely have a couple of shots on goal.
So it'll be Herman to take the faceoff for NC State up against Cam Chabot of Kentucky. We got a fresh 20 minutes up on the clock. We're ready for period 2. There's been, as we mentioned, a great crowd on hand, despite the fact that you've got kind of the tropical storm brushing past, as well as a football game up in Virginia tonight for the Wolfpack. But a good crowd, and they've shown up so far. NC State with a chance, they score! I think it's going to be Philip Bailey again, camped out in front. It hit his body and deflected past Allen. It's a power play goal and a 2-0 lead.
Looked like Garrett Arini was there on the shot, and that puck just kind of flipped up in the air. Can't really see here on the replay, however. Bailey just kind of swatted that puck out of the air, Chris. It looked like a baseball player up at the dish ready to hit that one out of the park, and they capitalized on that power play. 17 seconds into this period, they had 2 more shots on goal again. They are starting to pester this Kentucky defense, not only with their shot selections, they're starting to get a lot better, but they're also starting to get Kentucky a little worn out. And when we talked to their coach pregame, they said they got here at 12 o'clock. And it's a 7-hour drive from Lexington, so these players have been up since 5. Don't know if they took any naps, but it's been a long day for these guys.
Well, I did hear they got a brief nap, but it's tough sometimes to get off the bus, get your legs back, and then play a hockey game the next day, as a shot from Cox is swallowed up by the glove of Allen. NC State, good pressure here in the first minute or so of this second period.
Like that shot selection from Cade Cox, even though it did just go right into the chest of Riley Allen. He's got that slot, and that puck just kind of took a bounce right to him. Good things happen when you're right in front of the net and you put it on the net. You never know.
take this draw for NC State. They're going to, not sure what it was. They're going to they're going to reset the clock. It was one thing I noticed after the stoppage is the clock ran at least 15 or 16 seconds off while they were announcing the goal over the intercom. So I think they're going to add some time here. It says 19:07 right now. It's probably going to be in the 19:25 range. If I had, they'll only add 8 seconds, so 19:15 left in the second period now. Again, it'll be Bailey on the draw for NC State. Puck squirts loose. Kentucky going to be the first to it. Here comes Gabe D'Amico, 2-on-1. Takes the shot himself, and it's snagged by the glove of Eric Daniel. He'll hold on for a face-off. We talked about Daniel. Didn't see nearly as many shots as Allen in the first period, but he's seen some high-quality ones. That was another.
Yeah, that was a high-quality save, though, there from Eric Daniel, too. Good job flashing that leather. Look at the breakaway, though, from Kentucky. Good numbers, but, again, they can't get all 5 guys up. You got to take that shot, though, on that chance, but they were hoping for a rebound there, and Daniel said no.
Kentucky able to hold the zone off the draw. Cade Cox looking to clear the zone. Bouncing puck. Kept in at the blue line. Here's D'Amico for Kentucky. Looking through the middle. Missed his initial target, and then the shot fanned on by the backstop, Jack Knoll. Kentucky, this is really, we talked about how they hadn't really had much sustained offensive zone pressure on 5-on-5. It didn't really come on the power play. This has been their best forecheck here so far in this one. State still struggling to get it out as Irani's breakout pass is directed back behind the net. Ricky Frosch looking long, up to the red line. He finds Philip Bailey, and he's dispossessed. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Thrown behind Cortapella. He's able to get back to it, moves it in. Drop back towards Cortapella, and Cox is there to steal it away. NC State has some time to regroup as Kentucky goes off for a change. Bailey knocked into the boards. They'll be okay. Play continues. NC State trying to get a change. So it's a tough period to get the change off. It's a little bit longer. Bailey absorbs a hit. NC State with the loose puck, and now we've got a whistle. And looks like NC State might have too many men on the ice here. It was the linesman, I believe, who blew the whistle. He's allowed to do that for this specific scenario, and that's exactly what it'll be. NC State called for too many men on the ice and a power play for Kentucky when they really need it, and when they've had some momentum, Nick.
Yeah, that's really big. Philip Bailey will serve that penalty. They've had a good momentum ever since that last goal, like we mentioned, that big breakaway. How about Rakitic on that last chance for Kentucky? Able to keep it in. They got a couple more chances off of it. Good chance here right in the slot.
Oh, Daniel didn't know where it was. Went up over the net and into the glass. They'll fight for it in that far corner. Wildcats trying to get that power play set up. Swept behind. Colin Holtz there. Sent back up the wall. Bouncing puck, hops the stick of Knoll. He's able to retrieve it in the zone and get it deep again. Holtz forces it behind. UK will set up the power play now. Leroux looking to the middle. And bodies go skittering everywhere. NC State able to collect the loose puck. It's Emory Oliver shorthanded. Has his shot deflected up into the netting behind the Kentucky goal. And it'll be a face-off in the Wildcat zone with 17-16 left in the period, 125 on the power play.
Yeah, I think Kentucky on this power play, they got to get their defensive men, I think, a little more involved. Let the shorthanded push go. They down 2-0 now in the second period. It is a little early for it, but I think you got to get these defensive men in on these power plays. They're kind of lagging back at the blue line, and I would like to see them get a good push more into the offensive zone.
NC State sends it right back behind the Kentucky cage. Wildcats will reset. Banked up that far wall. Colin Costello carries it into the offensive end. Left for D'Amico. He goes D to D with Tim Burke. NC State allowing Kentucky to work the perimeter here once again. Chabot along the blue line. Sends it down low. D'Amico rips one through the middle and hit a skate and was just sitting in the slot. NC State clears. 50 seconds left on the power play.
Saw a couple of point-to-point passes, but once again, not much going on. Big offensive zone takeaway for the Icepack.
Arini's shot rises up over the crossbar. NC State going to have to get back, or it's an odd man rush for the Wildcats. Nothing brewing there, so Kentucky just content to get set up in the offensive end. Costello back to the blue line. Shot down low, directed just wide. Loose on the near side. D'Amico's shot doesn't get much wood on it.
NC State still defending on the penalty kill. Down to 15 seconds left on the man advantage. Along the near wall, D'Amico sends it down to the goal line. They'll look across. Daniel gets a stick to it, pops it up in the air, and NC State able to move out a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Arini tracks it down, finds Herman. He'll pitchfork it in. NC State kills off the penalty, and Kentucky now 0 for 2 on the man advantage, but they might be able to catch NC State in a change. Stretch pass, couldn't quite connect. NC State, the bad breakout though, and Kentucky can up the pressure. Stepping in, Tim Burke. Far circle, rips one. Not sure what it hit on the way through, but it ended up in the netting behind the goal, and we'll have another face-off in the NC State end.
That last chance for Kentucky, that puck was loose, and Gabe D'Amico had a clear shot with an empty net, but he's going to be hating himself on that one as he goes to the bench right now. Had that chance. It looked like it got deflected up. He missed it left and wide of the goal. Good chance for Kentucky. One of their best chances tonight right there. And again, just this time, puck luck not on their side.
Yeah, puck was on edge for D'Amico. I think an NC State stick got in the way as well. Bounces just not quite going Kentucky's way so far. Only a 2-0 game, though. Wildcats trying to build off of the power play they just had. Alex James for NC State absorbs a hit as he sends a D to Cowan. Hill wristed in. Wrapped all the way around the wall. Kept in at the blue line by James. He'll shovel it in. Kaufman in on the forecheck now for NC State. Kentucky moves it up the wall, kept in by Cowan. Emery Oliver gets to it for the Pack. Looking for Gouveia along the wall. He'll glove it down, tripped up, hand up. NC State going to get their third power play of the evening as Kentucky touches up. This is a clear-cut tripping penalty, and NC State already 1 for 2, Nick, on the power play. We'll get another chance here.
And the Ice Pack just covered off a power play goal. I'm trying to see who that penalty was. It looks like it's on Tyler Koskern for Kentucky, but again, Kentucky's got to, I think they got to start containing their emotions. They're starting to spoil over into these penalties. NC State just capitalized on a power play. They're now 1 for 3 on the night, as you said, Chris. Now a fourth one, already in the Kentucky zone. Fresh 2 minutes up there. If NC State can get a goal here, 3-0 lead, while it is pretty dangerous in terms of hockey, but they'd be looking nice for the second half of this game.
Yeah, and one of the things you alluded to earlier, Nick, was how the forecheck's kind of wearing down Kentucky. Here's a chance for Herman. Sent to the middle. Arini's open. Rebound. Loose in front. And it looked like Allen got a piece of the rebound. Philip Bailey looking for his third of the night. Just couldn't quite connect with that one. So Kentucky will clear it down. But, Nick, you mentioned how the forecheck has kind of worn down Kentucky a little bit over the first period. I think that's kind of what you're seeing on the last couple of penalties. The slashing penalty at the end of the first, and then that tripping penalty there. It's just Kentucky a little bit out of position, a little stagnant, and it leaves those opportunities for NC State to draw the penalties. And so far, NC State has drawn 3 of them. 1 for 2 on the power play are the Ice Pack tonight. 1:20 left on the power play at the moment. Pinching Cade Cox holds the zone on the far wall. He'll glove it down, looking for some help in a 2v2 battle. Cox comes away with it. Button hooks in the corner. And still Cade Cox. Now he'll lift it off the wall down the near side. NC State unable to control though, and now Kentucky sends it all the way down the ice. Over halfway through the man advantage now for NC State. 13:40 left in this second period. It'll be Zach Herman moving it forward. Elevates it to the near side, directed in by Arini. Nick Shook gets to it, looking to the middle. Pinballs around, and Arini just couldn't get a shot away. Cade Cox again at the blue line. Rister through traffic, hit his skate and directs to the corner. Here's Bailey. Top of that far circle, finds Nick Shook. He'll step into one off the shoulder of Riley Allen. Another big save by the Kentucky netminder as UK able to move it into neutral ice and kill some more of this penalty time. Wildcats are offsides. NC State will pick it up. Arini looking up the middle. He's got Gouveia. Joey Gouveia back to Arini. Good look, and the NC State captain couldn't get a shot away. That will do it for the power play as Kentucky bounces one in on Eric Daniel. He'll hold on to it, and as he gets some pressure, he'll freeze it for another face-off. But NC State, couple of chances there, nothing overly threatening though on the power play.
Yeah, there's 2 good chances in front for NC State. Looked like Arini made a really good pass, like we mentioned before in that pregame show. Arini's vision is something to really rave about. And then it looked like Philip Bailey almost had a deflection in front. But other than that, Kentucky did a really good job keeping the puck out. Got a couple of clears, and now they got an offensive zone faceoff, but they just couldn't win it again.
Ice Pack win the draw. Labrizzi. Backhand pass from McConaughey. And NC State will break it out. Big hit on Kaufman here on the near wall. That was a nice clean hit by Nick Delaney. NC State still able to dribble it in on goal. Allen steers it into the corner. Kentucky trying to break it out up the near wall. And we held up at the blue line. McConaughey, a nice job defensively for the Pack. NC State keeping the pressure on. Sent down into the corner. Back up top looking for Kaufman. Puck is deflected away. Kaufman gets back to it, and now his shot deflected up and out of play. Well, after the first period, shots were 16-7, so NC State out shooting Kentucky 4-2 here in the second so far. But they're starting to tip the ice back in their favor. We saw Kentucky get a few chances on the power play and even shorthanded on their penalty kill. But NC State, since that penalty has ended, has really started to carry play again.
And I think a big part of that is Kentucky on that last stoppage. They're not winning the faceoffs, and another faceoff loss there. Don't know if there's anything else they could do. Maybe try to get a man to skate on in for them. But NC State's just starting to get relentless on these faceoff wins and really pushing the tempo now on the offensive end.
Kentucky clears it up and out. Not enough on it for icing as Labrizzi gets to it first. His pass to the far side hit his stick, and it ends up in the Kentucky bench for another neutral zone face-off.
It's a big face-off, I think, here for Kentucky. They haven't really had many chances, and we've got a little conversation right now between the referee and Colin Costello for Kentucky. It seems like he's upset about something. They're still going at it, him and the ref.
Looking down in the Kentucky penalty box, I don't see anybody there, and now they will send another player out. There are only 4 on the ice for the Wildcats there. Gabe Rodriguez jumps over the boards. He'll join the Wildcat lineup out there. They battle for it along the near wall in front of the Kentucky bench. 4-man scrum. NC State comes away with it. Knocked back to Cowan. D-to-D with James. He'll return the favor. Back across, that's Thronson. Taken off the wall by Nick Shook. He'll step into one from the top of the far circle. That shot's blocked. Now Bresingham looking to the middle. Pass deflected and stolen away. Kentucky can move back the other way with it. Carried in. Shot deflected away by Cowan. Colin Costello with the chance there. And now Nick Shook moving out. They move quickly. They've got numbers. Shook around his defender in front, and he can't maintain control to stuff it home. Good chance there for Shook. He's shown a lot here in the first 2+ games of the season so far. Kentucky comes away with it in their own end. They'll move it forward. As they cross the line, it'll be carried in by Costello. Shot steered away by Daniel. And NC State can recontrol.
Looked like that backhand shot by Costello. It caught Eric Daniel off guard. Oh, a big hit on the blue line.
Kentucky's getting a little bit more physical. They're not going over the top, though, with it. They're doing a good job hitting the guy with the puck, driving in with the shoulder. The last couple of big hits they've laid have been good clean hits, too, as another puck deflects into the Kentucky bench.
Yeah, once again, Bresingham on the receiving end on one of those big hits. Seen a couple of those go against Bresingham. Seems like Kentucky is pointing him out. We did say before he did throw a punch in that first period. Did not get detected by any of the refs. It didn't make contact, but I think they've kept that firm, that idea and that image of what he was doing. They've kept it firm in their minds, and they're trying to make him pay for it.
10:34 to go in the second period. Face off at center ice. Scott Daniel wins it for NC State. Ricky Frosch will lift it back up to the red line before Kentucky returns it to the NC State end. Cox picks it up behind the net. He's got some speed to carry it out. Just forces it down the near wall and into the zone. NC State now in on the forecheck. Pinching Cox gets to it, but we've got a whistle. Looks like a penalty on NC State coming up. And now Kentucky back to the man advantage.
This one's going to be on Cade Cox. Not sure what it is. It looked like it was off the play. Waiting for the referees to tell us what it is. They're having a 3-man discussion right now about it.
Well, you see, you got the linesman in there as well. He's allowed to weigh in and help on those calls as an extra set of eyes. And that's one, not sure I've seen. We're going to get a replay here. The official made a signal like a face mask penalty. I have not seen that signal in a game before. You look there at that last big hit from Kentucky. They've been very physical. And that might be where that penalty comes from. If you're NC State, you're getting a little frustrated, being knocked around a little bit, and just trying to give a little pushback. But it will be a 2-minute penalty on NC State's Cade Cox. And the Ice Pack win the draw and clear.
Another face-off, tie-up. This time Kentucky had a good chance of winning it, but once again, NC State able to get in there, win that face-off battle. Kentucky's just got to do something on these face-off. They are just now having a good win percentage right now.
Kentucky breaks into the zone, looking to set up the power play. Cortapella back to the top of the circles. It finds its way to D'Amico. Nice seam pass over to Cortapella. Back up to the blue line. Tim Burke. Cortapella again. As Burke at the blue line. Wrist ones through traffic. Daniel gets a hold of it, and they score. Well, oh no, hold on. That looks like Kentucky's bench jumped up. They thought it went in. But Daniel able to hold on. It looked like it had squeaked through his legs. It was the reaction of the Kentucky bench that fooled me there. Daniel able to keep it out of the net.
I think it's our angle, too. I thought that puck clearly went behind Eric Daniel, and some of the Kentucky players on the ice also celebrated.
So it'll stay 2-0 NC State. Little over a minute left on the power play is D'Amico from the top of the near circle. Sends it across. Daniel slides over to make the save, and he whips out the pad for a second one. Eric Daniel with a couple of nice saves. High slot chance coming. It squeaks through Daniel this time, and it's in the back of the net. Gabe D'Amico picks up the goal and cuts the NC State lead in half just 59 seconds into the power play. We'll get another look at this one here. Tough save for Daniel. You got to go from that far post out in front to deal with the one-timer. And he might wish he had squeezed a little harder, but it's not an easy save to make.
No, and he made some really good saves a couple seconds right before that, but he saved about 99% of that shot, and the glove just couldn't squeeze hard enough. And that 1% is the one that got behind him, and it's the reason why this lead has been cut in half for the Ice Pack, 2-1 now, with 9:13 left here in the second period. How about Kentucky, though, in the shot category, Chris? They've caught up. They trail the shots by 6, and they've had a lot of high-quality shots this period.
Well, they've had the last 5, too. Last time we talked about it, NC State was out shooting Kentucky 20-9. The Ice Pack going to need an answer here because Kentucky starting to get a little extra jump in the legs. Cleared in, and icing is the call on Kentucky. So the face-off will head all the way back to Riley Allen. We'll get another look at some of this physical play from Kentucky, continuing to kind of control the neutral zone. NC State looking for a tip was Cowan. Nobody able to get a stick to it in a white jersey. NC State, though, still in control in the offensive end. Kentucky takes it away in that near corner. They'll move forward with it. Shot from way out. Daniel able to hold on to it at the chest protector. But you can see Kentucky starting to try and test Daniel a little bit more with some of those shots from further out. That's one of the things that Coach Pergram had mentioned coming into this one is just get as many shots towards the net as you can and see what you can get past them.
Yeah, and how about Kentucky the last couple of minutes? We mentioned it in the shot category how they've been out shooting NC State. They've tipped the ice recently. After that penalty kill that they've had, it's been Kentucky's game in the offensive zone. NC State's had some chances to get another big face-off win there, but Kentucky's really kept it in the zone. A good save there by Eric Daniel.
NC State back on their heels a little bit here. Kaufman trying to clear the zone. Steps away from a hit, but can't keep the puck. Wildcats hold the zone. Along the near wall, Cortapella made that pass to D'Amico to set up that opening goal for Kentucky. Again, NC State trying to clear and can't. One-time shot. Daniel gets a chest to it. Rebound still loose over on the far side. Now behind the net, Kentucky in control. At the blue line, it's Burke. Sends it around the wall past a teammate in Chabot. Wildcats in the far corner have it taken away. Loose puck picked up by Kaufman. Holden Kaufman, 3-on-2, moving in quickly off the skate of Oliver. NC State still in control. It's Govea. As it poked off his stick. Loose puck picked up though by the Ice Pack. Centering pass intended for Kaufman is stolen away. And Kentucky moves it out into neutral ice. Good pinch there from Cade Cox to slow things up. Still fighting for it, and Cox will send it back into the Kentucky end. Burke, the defenseman for the Wildcats, goes D to D. Kentucky lifts it out of their own end. Cox ridden off the puck. NC State having to come back for it. It's Nick Shook. Finds Cox, trying to step away from a hit. You're starting to see that physicality from Kentucky infect NC State. They're trying to stay away from the hits a little bit more, and they've lost the puck a couple of times last minute as a result. Here's an odd man rush for Kentucky again. Down the near side, shot coming, and it's kicked away with authority by Eric Daniel. Good chance there for Mark LaRue. Another chance here for Kentucky. Shot sent wide of that far post. Kentucky continuing with the pressure. LaRue moves it back up for Kentucky to the blue line. Wrist shot through traffic right into the breadbasket of Eric Daniel, and they'll hold on to it. Get another face-off in the NC State zone as a couple players going at it in the near corner.
Can't really see who it is, but if you're Coach Healy right now for the Ice Pack, you cannot be happy with that last 2-on-1 chance Kentucky had right in the middle of a line switch. And it looks like we got a penalty coming up. And Tim Burke giving a little slaps of the stick on the ground right in front of Labrizzi, and it'll be Labrizzi in the box right now. Don't see any Kentucky player going in right now. This is going to be post-play. But look at this 2-on-1. Just NC State in the middle of the line change. Didn't really know Kentucky had the puck. Very fortunate that Kentucky didn't make that cross-ice pass, or it didn't get underneath Eric Daniels' right arm.
Well, I think NC State right now is a little bit upset that there weren't matching minors. I did not see what happened down in the corner, but it's going to be Nick Labrizzi for NC State in the penalty box for 2 minutes.
I think it's one of those instigator penalties. Labrizzi might have done something. It looked like someone threw a hand at someone. That might have been Labrizzi. So maybe the referee's trying to get control of this game. Good cross pass.
NC State, again, having to defend a penalty. Kentucky had a successful power play last time, but here's Arini, steals the centering pass. He's got some speed through the neutral zone, and has the puck knocked off his stick. He'll get back to it in that far corner, trying to waste some time. About 30 seconds gone on the man advantage as the Wildcat power play will reset. Moved up the far side. Kentucky carries it in. Ricky Frosch defending. Moving around with it, LaRue. It has gotten very quiet here in Invisalign Arena. I think NC State fans getting a little bit nervous with the way this game is trending right now. Brett Quinn hands it off for LaRue on the near side. Arini swatting at the puck. Again, Quinn back to the blue line. Shot coming through traffic. Daniels got it. He'll hold on. And another face-off coming.
A couple words said after that shot. Referees quickly got in the way, but good chance there by Kentucky. They got a couple bodies in front. Something we haven't really seen them do. Go to that point shot. We'll take a look on the replay. This is back earlier in the game. How about that, Kentucky? They won the face-off, and then here's that push once again.
NC State unable to win the draw and clear. Kentucky gets set up once again, passing the skates over on the goal line. Loose puck picked up by the Wildcats again. Quinn looking cross ice off the stick of James. D'Amico settles it down. Playing catch with Quinn. NC State again doing a good job keeping things to the exterior for the most part here. LaRue, though, finds some space. Throws one through traffic. It deflects over to D'Amico. He finds Quinn, who rips one just wide of the near post. Couple of chances there for Kentucky. Back to Quinn. Back down for D'Amico. Looks to the middle. One-timer sent just wide of the net. Another good chance. That time it was Costello, and NC State able to clear with 10 seconds left on the power play for the Wildcats. But Kentucky, again, talked about the shot totals. They've had the last 12 shots. They're actually out shooting NC State right now, 21-20. And despite the power play ending, this Wildcat team continuing to put the pressure on as they'll have another offensive zone faceoff.
Well, Kentucky had 2 beautiful chances, especially that one right in front of the net. Can't remember who shot it. Maybe we'll see on the replay here. But how about Kentucky being able to get right in front of the net? Just missing wide, but like we said before, those chances for Kentucky, they've been a lot better than NC State. They haven't had as many, but this second period, I think, has definitely gone Kentucky's way. They're playing the brand of hockey that they want to play. They want to play physical. They want to set up chances right in front of the net. And I think the key thing, though, is they've done a good job at drawing penalties this period. I think the Ice Pack have let their emotions boil over a little bit. They've gotten pushed around, and because of that, we see 2 big penalties for NC State, and Kentucky has really just not let the throttle back at all ever since those 2 power plays.
4:30 left in this second period. 2-1 lead for NC State right now. And you hit on, Nick, the physicality. That's the thing that I've noticed the most, is it feels like NC State has shied away from the contact a little bit more in the recent sequence of events. They will get it deep and going on the forecheck. That's what was working so well early on in this game, as Nick Shook comes away with it. You get a look at him up close. Knocked off the puck. Wildcats work it around and try to break it out from the far side. Good pinch there from Labrizzi. He'll knock it back in. NC State with a delayed offsides. They're going to have to get back and check up. That'll allow Kentucky to move it up and out. Here's LaRue. Looking to the center. No options there. Well defended by NC State. They're going to get called for another penalty. That's an easy one. Labrizzi going back to the box. He's going to get called for a cross-check. And again, I think it goes back to the physicality. I think Kentucky, as you mentioned, has pushed NC State around a little bit more this period. NC State's trying to respond, and hasn't worked out so far. Labrizzi, 2 minutes for a cross-check, and now we got a player being ejected for Kentucky. I don't know what was said. I believe it's Parker Rice who was getting back on the bench. It is. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct on Parker Rice. A roughing penalty on Labrizzi.
Well, that penalty, someone was going at it before with Nick Labrizzi. I don't know if it was Parker Rice or not, but that might be it. Now we've got the referees trying to sort out how long these penalties are going to be. But the physicality is getting up there. NC State's need to do a better job, I think, of using that physicality in legal ways. We've seen after the whistle, especially Nick Labrizzi, after the whistle, and now this cross-check. That's going to give Kentucky a power play, or maybe not. We got 2 people in the box for 2 minutes on the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, and that's just not, it's not a smart decision there from Parker Rice. I thought by the signal from the official, I thought he had completely tossed Rice from the game. But it will be a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I think it's the referees trying to take control of this game.
That's exactly what it is here, right? So it'll be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. And this should make for some entertaining hockey here late in the second period. A little extra space for these guys to work with. Garrett Arini looking cross-ice. Beautiful seam pass to find Herman with speed. He'll bring it in. Throws it low on Riley Allen. Easily handled by the Kentucky netminder. Now the Wildcats in control.
Well, we saw earlier in this game that dump in goes just to the right of Eric Daniel, but we saw beginning of the game, both of these teams are flying out on the ice. Definitely their fastest people on the ice right now is Arini with a great chance.
Yeah, nice little play there from Arini and Herman. Just a soft little touch pass. Arini coming in with speed. And so a good chance, an offensive zone draw for the Pack. It'll be Joey Govea to take the draw.
Now, I don't know exactly when. We mentioned NC State had 20 shots. They only have 2 since then, and those 2 have come on this 4-on-4. Kentucky has really shifted the ice this game, this period, and they're going to try to break something out in this 4-on-4 with speed once again.
Long pass taken on a bank by Brett Quinn. Miscommunication, though, and Kentucky retreats again. Under a minute left of 4-on-4 hockey. Still a little over 2.5 minutes left in the second period. Kentucky has started to take control of this game here in the latter half of the period. A power play goal, a couple of man advantages has just allowed them to control play a little bit more. They'll move it in here. Down to 38 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey. At the blue line, it's Burke. He'll go D to D. Shot coming through, patted away by Eric Daniel. Now NC State can try to break out. Miscue on the breakout pass, though. Chance for Kentucky in the slot. Tie game. Bad turnover by NC State, and it's Nick Delaney with the second Kentucky goal of the period, and we're tied at 2.
How about this? Maybe the replay will show it, and it will. Just a bad pass. It just kind of took a funny bounce, and then right in front. That was a really good job by Nick Delaney, the freshman. He's not going to pass that puck up. He's going to take it himself, and I think that's what caught Eric Daniel off guard, especially the amount of speed and sauce that on that shot that Nick Delaney had. It kind of caught Eric Daniel off guard. He thought he was going to go with the cross-ice pass, but beat him glove side, something really hard to do, but the amount of power on that shot by Delaney, he was able to do it.
So we're tied at 2. NC State, after taking that 2-0 lead, had a huge advantage in shots since then. I believe they've been outshot 13-2, and of course have been outscored 2-0. See if they can turn things around here in the final minutes of the second as Kentucky is offside. Mark LaRue touches, and face-off will come back to neutral ice.
Well, final 149. I think NC State just wants to make it out of the period tied at 2. This has definitely not been their best period, especially of the season. However, they got one more period to go. They definitely got to switch some things up, and I think the difference in this period was the physicality, like we mentioned all period. NC State, they matched Liberty's physicality a little bit last week, a D1 team, but this week, as players come out of the box now, they just haven't been there in a big icing call. The other offensive zone face-off for Kentucky in the last 94 seconds.
So this puck comes back to the NC State end. As you mentioned, Nick, back to 5-on-5 hockey. 1:34 to go in the period. You got to look at that last icing call. But this NC State team certainly going to have some hard conversations in the locker room to turn things around. It's got to get through the last minute and a half here of the second period. Kentucky has in the offensive zone. Pinned to the near wall. NC State clearance held in. Swatted back around the boards by Colin Holtz. Fight for it in that far corner now. Bouncing puck. NC State able to settle it down. It'll be moved out by Aiden Brenner. He's dispossessed in neutral ice. Loose puck picked up, though, by NC State. It's Scott Daniel looking to the middle. Can't connect with Brenner. And now Kentucky shoots it up into neutral ice. Alex James has it for NC State. Here, Wade Minter announced to the crowd, less than a minute left in the second period. It's been an entertaining one so far. NC State jumped out to a 2-0 lead with a goal in the first period, and then another one in the second, both from Philip Bailey. But since then, Kentucky has dictated most of the play and been able to even up the score. An offensive zone faceoff, though, coming up for NC State here. 43.5 seconds to go in the period. As we saw last week at Liberty, you got to make sure you finish to the end of the period. State gave up a goal with about 10 seconds left in the first. I'd like to reverse the script here today if possible, but it's going to be an odd man rush for Kentucky. High slot shot coming, save made by Daniel. Bouncing puck, loose in the slot still. Turnaround shot coming. That one whistles high and wide off the stick of Nick Delaney, who scored the last one. Now the puck pinned behind the goal. Wildcats able to pick it out. Back up the blue line. Here's Kyle Burke. Throws it through traffic. That one pinballs wide. Wildcats still in control with 15 seconds left in the period. NC State can't get to the puck to clear. Kentucky with a huge advantage, but it's the captain, Garrett Arini, stealing it away, but he can't clear. One more chance here for Kentucky if they hurry. Down to 4 seconds left in the period. Pass to the middle. Went through a whole slew of skates, and now NC State clears it all the way down to finish off period number 2. We've got a hockey game here in Invisalign Arena. NC State saw a 2-0 lead evaporate, and Kentucky has had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and I think Nick Delaney, especially that last play, he's shown. That kind of summarizes this period. Nick Delaney, that last time, he did a fantastic job just pestering, able to get those good chances, 2 or 3 good chances right in front of the net. It's been that kind of period for the Ice Pack. Only put up 6 shots this period. Kentucky, with the onslaught of shots, they're now up in the shots by 2 and have tied the game at 2.
So NC State going to have to make some adjustments for period number 3. It's a tie game after 40 minutes, 2-2 between NC State and Kentucky.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From
the top.
40 minutes here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman with Nick Perazzi here on PackTV. It's a 2-2 hockey game after 40 minutes. And Nick, it looked like things were going to go NC State's way this period. They come out 36 seconds on the power play to start the period, and they pick up the quick power play goal.
Yeah, second goal of the night for Philip Bailey. And again, NC State, they started out that play with a good forecheck, good back check. The power play definitely helped that out, getting the face-off win right off the bat, getting that 5-on-4, but things started to falter, and really in the physicality department, I think that's where NC State is struggling right now. They're kind of getting outbodied right now by Kentucky, and when they try to retaliate, it's costing them in the penalty department.
That is absolutely right. And I think the physicality is really one thing we'll address here in this intermission, because it looked like NC State started to shy away from the contact a little bit. They tried to avoid hits and ended up losing the puck as a result. So they're going to have to find a way to turn the tables on Kentucky when we get set for this third period.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach Tim Healy before the game for the Ice Pack, and he mentioned how they were able to stay with the Liberty's physicality. We mentioned it in the broadcast, too, a little bit. We're not seeing that here. Kentucky's being definitely the more physical team, and NC State's having a really hard time of contributing back to it. And when they do, mainly Nick Labrizzi, he's picking up penalties for it. And he seems like the only one, though, trying to get back at that physicality. I think NC State, they got to look at themselves. They got to say, look, we got to play tough the rest of the game. We blew the 2-0 lead. There's 20 minutes left of hockey. It's a new game, and it's time to put your foot down, play your brand of hockey, and try to come out with a win.
Well, it's a 2-2 game right now, and that's maybe a little bit high to call it a goalie duel, but we do have a couple of good goaltenders who are keeping their teams in the games right now, in Riley Allen and Eric Daniel. And we've got the goaltending coach, Alex Rossetto of NC State, to talk with us after the break. It's 2-2 NC State and Kentucky after 2 periods.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
And we're back. I'm here with Coach Rossetto. Coach, what are some areas of improvement that you've noticed from the sidelines that you really think the team needs to capitalize in on to win this game out?
You know, I think we just got to kind of come back out and just be a little bit more resilient and, you know, capitalize on some of our toughness, right? I mean, last week we played a D1 team. They were a little bit bigger, stronger, faster, and, you know, we were resilient there, right? So I think we just got to show that resilience and come forward here with some energy in this third period.
All right, this team's been a really physical team. You know, there's been a lot of penalties and things like that. What are things that you think the team as a whole really needs to focus on penalty-wise?
Yeah, I think we got to be a little more disciplined, right? So that's pretty obvious, right? So, I mean, for a period there, we were up on shots. We let them back in. We took some undisciplined penalties. I think that's got to be one of our keys here, right? Kind of regroup, get that discipline back in, and force them to take some stupid penalties, right? And hopefully we can capitalize on those.
All right. Thank you. I'm Delaney Kearns. You're watching Ice Pack Hockey on PackTV. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena. It's a 2-2 hockey game between NC State and Kentucky after 40 minutes, and it's been a heck of a hockey game so far. NC State comes out with the early goal in the second period to double their lead to 2-0, but then it was Kentucky controlling the pace of play, maybe getting under NC State's skin a little bit, and then finding a way to even up the score.
Yeah, Kentucky right now, like we said before, we keep preaching it. They're the physical team right now. In that interview, we did see NC State kind of need to just simmer down. We talked to Coach Healy a little bit, actually, in between commercial break, and he said they need to hold accountability right now in their players, and it kind of shows right now. We've seen a couple of bad penalties being taken. We saw a repeat penalty of a repeat offender be taken, so NC State definitely needs to focus a lot more on holding those players accountable, being smart with your penalties and your decision-making right now.
Yeah, I think the big message there, if you're NC State, is you want to get back to your game. You want to make sure you're taking care of your responsibilities. That was really the message from Coach Hill. He said, when you come back into this locker room after another 20 minutes of hockey, are you going to be able to look your teammates in the eye and say, I did what I was supposed to do to the best of my abilities? And I think that's what NC State is going to have to focus on, because we saw it early on in that game, first 10 or so minutes when they established that forecheck and really kind of suffocated the breakout for Kentucky. They had all the control. They were able to get the majority of the shots, the majority of the possession, and it really looked like they were going to control that game. And I talked with the goalie coach Alex Rossetto a little bit before he came on, and he mentioned they felt like after that first goal in the second period to go up 2-0, it felt like they were going to cruise, so they kind of took their foot off the gas. But Kentucky's not a team that's just going to go away quietly, and NC State found that out the hard way.
Yeah, it's been a tale of two periods, really, for both teams. We saw NC State for the first, like you said, 10 minutes until about the 9-minute mark. It was their game. It was their game to play. They controlled all the pace. Kentucky fought back a little bit midway through that first, but towards the end of that first period and into the early parts of the second, we saw NC State. They took control of the game, but ever since then, Kentucky has just taken everything that they preach and live by as a hockey team, and they've done it to a T. They've had a lot more chances than NC State as well. This game very well could be a 4 or 5 goal game for Kentucky right now, but they're not finishing on those chances, which NC State needs to be fortunate and thankful for. But Kentucky is really red hot right now. NC State has to come out firing on all cylinders if they want to stay in this game.
I think kind of the underlying theme for both of these teams that has led to the success in their respective periods really is execution. And I think that's what it's going to come down to in the third period. Who is able to establish themselves and then execute and put the puck in the back of the net. We're not too long from finding that out. We've got 20 minutes left in this one. When we come back, we'll be set for puck drop of the third period. 2-2, NC State and Kentucky here on PackTV.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour, and guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Well, we haven't settled anything yet here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Land and Nick Brazzi back with you here on PackTV. 2-2 the score after 2 periods. NC State and Kentucky locked in a battle, Nick, as we expected.
Yeah, like we said coming into this game, this is not an ECU if you joined us for our first broadcast with us. Kentucky's been a powerhouse in this division. NC State's been a powerhouse in this division. It's Clash of Titans, as some may call it. And we've kind of seen that today, a tale of 2 periods so far, but we'll see what the 3rd period has for us.
At center ice, Zach Herman wins the draw for NC State out there with Arini and Bailey. Bailey with the 2 goals for NC State so far tonight, doubled his goal total on the season. As Kentucky moves through the neutral zone, that's one thing we talked about them struggling with early, is the steered on goal. Daniel makes the save. Good pressure though from Kentucky. Bouncing puck though will lead to a chance here for NC State if they hurry. Arini, beautiful spinning pass, finds Zach Herman trying to split the defense. He's going to be hauled down, and NC State gets an early power play here in the 3rd period. We've talked about how special teams are going to be important in this one, and NC State will get the first chance on the power play.
Let's go against Kyle Mead. What a pass there by Arini. And how about Herman fighting through it? But Kyle Mead looked like he kind of hooked him, brought him down there. Big penalty first 33 seconds of the game. Of the period. That's something Kentucky did not want to do. NC State, though, like we said, they got to come out firing on all cylinders. And a power play right off the bat is firing out on all cylinders.
Nick Shook on the draw, wins it back to Herman. NC State will set up the power play. Cade Cox, the lone defenseman on this first power play unit, walks the line, loses his edge as he throws it to the net, and the rebound is knocked away. Bailey slow to get up after he was knocked down. He'll stay in the play, though. Herman, high slot for Arini, sends it over to Shook, top of the far circle. His shot hit his stick and deflected over the net, and as they battle for it along the side, the net is knocked off its moorings. But a good start to this power play.
Yeah, I really like those 2 chances. Riley Allen definitely did not see where that puck was. Really hard to see. Look at this chance, though, by NC State. Working the point, Cade Cox gets it in the middle. Yeah, right there, Bailey had a good chance, gets knocked down. And that was what caused him to get slow to get up.
NC State trying to establish again on the power play off the draw. Bouncing puck, hops the stick of Nick Shook. Bailey in with pressure. Arini to help. NC State gains back control. Down to minute 20 left on the power play. Passing the skates of Cox in the high slot, and that'll allow Kentucky to clear it all the way down and change.
Good start on the power play for NC State. Got 70 seconds left on it right now. One more push. Ooh, a nice move there.
That's Cade Cox. He'll take a hit and drop it back for Cade McGonigal. halfway through the man advantage for NC State. Ice Pack looking to make some changes, and now they'll get moving. Pass out of the reach of Alex James, and Kentucky fires it right back. That was number 15, Kyle Burke, on the penalty kill. NC State moving it back up into the neutral zone. Kaufman trying to step around his man in camp. McConaughey slows it up at the blue line. Now NC State can turn it back. It's Alex James down that far right wing. He'll hold up in the corner, trying to turn away from his man. Hands it off for Govea. Back to the blue line. One-timer for McConaughey. Bodied down by Allen. NC State regains control. Down to 20 seconds left on the penalty. Ice Pack looking to regain the lead. Deflects over. Oh, what a save made by Allen. He got the stick across and denies it on an empty net. That was the chance there. I believe it was James. He just had some trouble settling it down. That's the best chance that didn't end up in the back of the net tonight. Power play over. Kentucky will move back forward. Stepping in, Daniel makes the save, and the whistle will blow with the puck loose. That referee down in the far corner lost sight of the puck. NC State maybe catches a little break there. But a golden opportunity for NC State here on the power play.
Chris, I am in shock by that save that Riley Allen made. And look at this breakaway. A great sequence there for Kentucky. How about both goalies making good saves, but Riley Allen got stick on puck. That better be on SportsCenter Top 10 tonight, the way he made that one.
Well, he keeps the game even, and now Kentucky has survived the initial penalty to start this period. Ice Pack, break it out quickly. Kaufman touches it into the zone. Govea after it. Beat to the puck, though, and Kentucky moves it back out. Here goes Cam Chabot with speed down the near right wing. Leaves it off there for Portapella. His shot blocked. NC State trying to break it out, but that pass is dancing all over the place. Both teams having trouble controlling it neutral ice. Finally, NC State settles it. Forward line needs a change, so they'll work with it back in the defensive end as they make that change. And stretch pass too long, icing the call.
Well, how about Kentucky, though, this first couple of minutes here in this period? They've done a fantastic job of playing defense, especially towards the end of that power play. Ever since about a minute left in that power play, NC State's only had one or two chances, but then they had that other big chance where Allen made that beautiful save. But outside of that, it's kind of been Kentucky's period a little bit. We've seen a lot of even play, but Kentucky lately is starting to try to tilt that ice once again, just like the second period.
Slow wrister, easily handled by Daniel. He'll hold on for a face-off. But it's the hockey cliche is you need your goaltender a lot of times to be your best penalty killer, and that's exactly what Riley Allen was there. He made that save. He had a couple of saves he made through traffic as well that might not have looked quite as impressive, but he still had to find him and be in the right position to make the save. So doing a heck of a job for his team right now as NC State going to get, looks like NC State gets whistled here for a hand pass, and there's a player a little slow getting up. Actually took a shot off the hand, it looked like. But this face-off will stay to the blocker side of Eric Daniel. Kentucky wins the draw. Back to the blue line. It'll be swatted right in. Wildcats trying to set up in the offensive zone. Loose in that far corner. Cade Cox after it for NC State. Becomes a four-man scrum for it. Puck squirts loose to the far wall. Taking a hit, Shook lifts the puck up and not quite out of the zone. NC State has to reset once more. D to D. Cox to James. He'll return the favor. Cade Cox. Bank pass. Missed Logan Todd with the pass. Kentucky pushes it back forward through the neutral zone. Chip and chase for Connor Underwood. Forces it behind the net. Centering pass stolen away by NC State. And now the Pack will slow things down a bit. Long pass into neutral ice. Shook got a touch to it but couldn't control. Now Kentucky trying to reverse directions. Both teams moving a little bit too fast right now. Alex James has some time and space. Closed off along that far wall. From his knees, stays with the puck, and eventually he's dispossessed. Had a couple of black jerseys over there. Nice job by the captain. Arini holds the zone. NC State needs a change, so not a lot of pressure here from the forecheck. That will allow Kentucky to move forward. Colin Costello tees one up and standing tall. Eric Daniel bodies it down. Couldn't control the rebound though, so play continues. Kentucky in control in that far corner. Costello Steers it back up to the point. One-timer. Not sure if Daniel got a piece of it, but it missed wide. NC State has some speed through the neutral zone. Herman chips it down in and chases after it. Leaves it in the corner for Arini. His slat pass is blocked down, and Kentucky can move back forward once again. High stick coming on NC State as McConaughey's stick got up into the face mask of Colin Costello. Kentucky still going after it. Now we'll get the whistle as NC State touches up, and a power play for Kentucky. So both teams with the man advantage opportunity here in this third period. Now here's another look at it. Easy call from our angle up here, was very easy to see. You just got to be careful with that stick lift sometimes. If you miss the stick, you're going straight up, and right up above the stick is the player's face.
Got to give credit to Colin Costello too. Did a nice job selling that high stick. Didn't look on him, of course. We got face masks on the helmets of our players, so don't need to look for blood to see if it's a 2 or 4 minute penalty. But big power play for Kentucky with 14:39 to go. If they can capitalize off this, this entire game will be turned upside down.
Kentucky will set up the power play. Up to the top of the umbrella. Holding it there, Underwood. Back down the near half wall. NC State again. Just keeping that pressure outside. Cross ice. LaRue. Down low. Sent back up top. Again, it's Underwood. His shot hits the skate of Govea. They'll hold the zone, though. LaRue again. About 30 seconds gone on the man advantage. One-timer fanned on. NC State gets to the loose puck, and they clear it out. But it's knocked down by Underwood. NC State unable to send it all the way. Connor Underwood again gains the red line, sends it around the wall. First one to it is Cade Cox of NC State. He'll be bodied up there by Holtz. Back up high for LaRue. Now Underwood fires wide. But you can see that the energy is just down a little bit in the building right now. Game has slowed down a little bit. I think both teams are kind of settling into the rhythm of this period, and it's going to take whether it's a big hit or another big save like we saw from Allen just a couple minutes ago. Somebody's got to inject a little energy into their team. Here's Kentucky. D'Amica shot it off the pipe. Hold on. They blew the whistle, and it looks like it might be because the net came off. But they're going to talk about this. By the initial reaction of no goal call, I assumed it went off the post. There wasn't a clang, though. You didn't hear that ping off the iron. So the officials are going to talk it over.
To me, it looked
I'm not sure they've made the decision yet. So they're going to come over here into the half circle in front of the scorer's table is an area the players are not allowed to enter. So it gives these officials a little extra space to discuss. See if we can get it. This will be a good angle. If we can get a look at it. That one from a little bit earlier.
To me, it looked like D'Amico got that puck in the back of the net, and it careened out to the other side. It's going to be a long discussion here.
This is an important one, too. With the way this game has gone, with the amount of time that's left, this is a big goal. And I think it's not going to go Kentucky's way. That's why the explanation is coming to the Kentucky bench first. And, it's unfortunate if you're Kentucky. Again, I'm not 100% sure whether it was in or not from the angle up here in our booth. But if it did go in, it's unfortunate. If it goes in and out quickly, and these officials, there's a lot to keep an eye on as an official. If it gets in and out before you see it, there's no replay here. So you don't, unfortunately, have that crutch to rely on. And based on where everyone is heading back to, NC State again, not sure. You got to be clear. We're not sure whether or not it was in the net. But for now, NC State has dodged a bullet. If it did end up in the net, it will be an offensive zone faceoff for Kentucky. They still have 38 seconds on the penalty to NC State's Cade McConaughey.
Based on Kentucky's reactions, I don't think they thought it went in either. They were just wondering why the whistle was dead in the middle of the power play in the offensive zone.
NC State wins the faceoff, clears it out. Garrett Arini going to race after it. Riley Allen out to shoot it down the ice for the Kentucky power play. State stands tall at their own blue line, trying to kill off the last 30 seconds of this man advantage. Cox rips it around the wall. Not able to clear, though. Bouncing puck, knocked into the near corner where Kentucky can control. Cortapella. Back up to the blue line, Tim Burke. You hear the stick tap from Allen indicating the penalty coming to a close here. Backhand didn't get through, and NC State shoots it all the way down the ice. They will say that that clearance came just after the power play came to an end, so icing on NC State, but I think if you're the Pack here, you're happy to get out of there without giving up a power play goal.
Yeah, and you got to be happy, too, that the referees did not call that confusion a goal as well. Big 2-minute power play. The band's starting to play again. They're trying to get some more emotion back into this crowd, which has just seemed pretty flat ever since that second period. 12:33 to go. Icepack are trying to look to do something offensively. But Kentucky right now, they've kind of had a good chokehold on this third period ever since really they kind of had that big save by Allen. It's definitely been their period so far, but no goals yet. We have a little stoppage here.
12:33 to go in this third period. Still square 2-2. NC State scored the first two, both coming from Philip Bailey. Kentucky with the second two. There's the third. Through traffic, Daniel didn't see it, and it's Colin Costello breaking the tie with 12:29 to go.
Well, if there was any energy left in this building, it just left. Right off the face-off, Costello's just going to shoot it from the red dot. I don't know if that got deflected. It looked like it actually did get deflected in, Chris. Can't really tell. At the angle I'm in, it is a little blocked, but like we were mentioning, Kentucky's kind of had a big control of this third period, and now up 3-2. They have silenced Invisalign Arena.
NC State now with some work to do. 3 unanswered goals for Kentucky, and they've got their first lead of the game. Icepack in control in the neutral zone. Here comes Nick Shook. Trying to force his way to the net. Rebound loose in front. Squirts back to the top of the circle. James fires away with a slapper. That's high over the net. NC State retreats for the clearance. Cowan up that far wall. That's denied there by Cortapella. NC State resets. James for Cowan. Trying to stretch it through the neutral zone. Puck skitters into the Kentucky end, but they'll sweep it right back out. Wildcats moving quickly. Here's a chance for Chabot. It hit a stick and deflected wide. Kentucky, there you can see the extra jump they've got from that goal. If you're the Pack, you gotta find a way to counter here in the next couple of minutes before Kentucky can really establish control over this third period. They're doing a great job. We talked about how NC State was making it hard on Kentucky to get through neutral ice, Nick, in that first period. It certainly seems to have flipped here in this third.
Yeah, they've really dominated. Had a couple of big face-off wins as well. Another defensive turnover for NC State, and Kentucky's got another chance offensively.
Icepack control. Move it up the near wall. Drag down is Kaufman. Here comes another power play for NC State. Scott Daniel powers his way in. He'll be pinned to the wall. Kentucky will touch up, and another power play for NC State. It'll be the 5th one of the game for the Icepack. They are 1 for 4 so far, and I believe this is going to be a holding penalty. That's exactly what it'll be, and it goes to number 21, Nick Delaney. Delaney had the game-tying goal in the final minutes of the second period. Now he's going to give NC State an opportunity here to maybe even this one up. 11:05 to go in the game. Zach Herman to take the draw for NC State. Loose puck collected by the captain of Kentucky, Gabe D'Amico. He'll wrist it all the way down the ice. NC State got a race to it. D'Amico after it, and he's going to pin it in that far corner. But right now, Kentucky they have more jump and a little bit more drive than NC State. Icepack looking for the stretch pass, misses everything. And that will come all the way back down for an icing. It's just not connecting right now for NC State.
No, this power play had the chance to bring energy back into this building. Kentucky slapping their sticks against the boards, trying to say, hey, we still got the energy. And right now, it seems like they still have. Big stretch pass to the other side of the ice, just missed. Another big defensive zone defensive zone face-off for the Icepack. And Kentucky's won a couple in a row, but they can't get it there.
I think if you're Kentucky here, too, you've killed off a quarter of the penalty already without giving NC State really any zone time. Conserve a little energy, let them take their time moving up the ice. Here's Philip Bailey, receives the pinball pass. Herman forces his way through and chases it down in the near corner. He'll look back up the wall for Cade Cox, who has some trouble with it and has to retreat into the neutral zone. Now Herman. Backhand pass over to Arini, looking for the one touch through the middle. That kicked back out of the zone. Philip Bailey regroups, lifts it across to Nick Shook. Back for Cox. Kentucky just seems to have someone in the right place every time. 50 seconds left on the power play for NC State.
I think it's that energy that Kentucky has now. They are just flying to the puck. They're staying in their places. They're making it hard on NC State to get by them as Cox is forced to dump in. Got a lucky bounce, but once again, Kentucky's right there. They'll send it down. 33 seconds left on the power play, and it seems like Kentucky's done a fantastic job at killing this penalty.
27, 26, 25 left on the power play for NC State. Get one more chance to push it up the ice. Rink-wide pass finds Alex James. He'll move in.
Ooh. Got
caught up with the linesman and ends up losing the puck. I'm sure NC State not going to be happy about that, but here's a chance shorthanded for Kentucky. A little backhand try from Chabot off the side of the net, but that will effectively finish off the NC State power play as out of the box comes Nick Delaney. And now somebody's going to be going to the box. We got another penalty coming up to Kentucky. This time a tripping penalty to Dan Cortapella.
No, right as they kill the penalty, they're going to have to go right back on there. Cortapella gave him a hit, and then he tripped him. The crowd wanted the call. The referees do give it to them. Kentucky was not too happy with it, especially Cortapella. He was saying, I hit him first, and then the stick was there. It's not my fault, but referees say otherwise. Now we've got another power play for the Ice Pack with 9:02 to go. And if it's anything like that last one, they're not going to be too thrilled with another chance like this.
If you're NC State here, you've got to make Kentucky pay for taking the penalties. We talked about discipline in the intermission and not taking the penalties. This is the third power play for NC State here in this third period. They scored one back in the first, but they're 0 for 3 since. And if you have 6 minutes worth of power play time in a period, you really want to find the back of the net. And on top of that, you look at how much time's left in the game and the fact that NC State trails by 1. This is the perfect opportunity to make something happen.
Now, normally I would say there's a lot of time left, but allowing 3 goals in a row, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of time on your side.
Govea cycling with it himself. Up top for James, he'll return it. Govea fires away, hit a body on the way through. That was Kaufman. And it deflects wide, cleared up into the netting. And NC State will have another offensive zone draw here.
Not a big fan of that last shot. Another really poor shot selection by the Ice Pack, and it's starting to get back over again. Those mistakes they made in that first period, and even though they were up 1-0 at the end of it, they're starting to make their way back here in the third. And this power play, just the start is just not there. They don't seem like they're all together on the power play. It seems like they just can't break out, and another good dump by Kentucky is going to cause them to attempt another breakout.
If you're NC State, I think the shot from Govea, not necessarily a bad idea. You just need the bodies in front to get it to the goal. That's going to be the best option, I think, with the way that Allen has played. If you're NC State, try and take away his eyes. You know, if he's in the right position and makes the first save, you're looking for a rebound that gives you that golden opportunity like NC State had on the power play earlier, and Allen just robbed him with the stick. Over half the power play already gone to Cortapella. About 45 seconds left on the man advantage, down to 7:45 left in the contest. Passed up the ice, NC State getting tangled up, trying to enter the zone. They'll have to check up with the delayed offsides. This is going to allow Kentucky to kill more time. Now they'll send it all the way down to Eric Daniel.
26 seconds left. Still one shot on goal this entire power play. It seems like a repeat of the last one they just had.
Cox with speed, lost the puck as he went to shoot. NC State has to regroup again, down to the final 15 seconds of the man advantage. Herman circling through the neutral zone, has some speed, rips one off the shoulder of Allen. He'll body it down. Kentucky clears it back out again. Bouncing puck, NC State having trouble controlling. Labrizzi loses an edge. Here comes Chabot, fires and scores. Right over the glove side shoulder of Eric Daniel. And it's now 4 unanswered for Kentucky to make it 4-2.
Well, if there was any energy left in this building, it has definitely been gone. Just a misplayed puck and then just losing his balance. That was Labrizzi, who's taken 2 penalties tonight. An easy breakaway for Chabot. He's able to capitalize off of it. And this Kentucky bench is riled up right now, taking a 2-goal lead, 4 in a row. And some fans are starting to make their way to the exit.
This one definitely isn't over yet. This NC State team has the ability to score and score quickly. But ever since that second goal, Riley Allen has shut the door. And even when NC State has created some really good opportunities, he's been up to the task. So we'll see what the Pack has in the final 7 minutes. Kentucky looking to break out. Cortapella carries it up and out, finds Chabot, who just scored. He's going to charge in, looking for another, sends it across, and nobody there to answer. Kyle Mead was on the far post. And just wasn't quite in the right position. Kentucky back in control. Underwood over to Cortapella. He'll lift it in. Kentucky needs a change. It's a chance for NC State to move with space, but Ice Pack need a change as well, so they'll reset. Kentucky doing an excellent job of just clogging up the ice and not giving NC State the room to move freely. Up that far side, it'll be poked in by Logan Todd. Sent around the wall, Scott Daniels pins it there in the corner. 2 Kentucky players there to pry it loose. Daniel back in to pin it up again. 3 Wildcats, 2 Ice Pack players there, and it's the Wildcats coming away with it. Move forward by Kyle Burke. He's got D'Amico. Back to the high slot. That wrister deflected up and over the net. Kentucky back to work on the offensive end of the ice, though. D'Amico looking to the middle. And that one got deflected out of play. Face-off will stay in the NC State end.
All right, we're going to take a look at a previous chance that Kentucky just had.
I think this was just a little bit of a miscommunication. Mead didn't go hard to that back post. You see him come in from a little bit wide. That was going to be another good chance to finish one off for Kentucky. But NC State got to find one and find it quickly. Nick Shook moving in, trying to drag his way past the defender, steers it in front. Denied by the stick, though, of Riley Allen. Kentucky moving back out. Lifted out by Nick Delaney. Be trapped down by NC State at the defense. Stretch pass looking for Shook, straight through his skates, and that'll be icing.
When we talked about NC State's forecheck, how about Kentucky's forecheck? It has caused NC State to struggle with those breakouts. Another breakout cross-ice pass resulted in icing. Kentucky's just made their adjustments, and they made them well. And Ice Pack really just haven't had any answers for them since that first intermission.
Kentucky controls off the face-off. Daniel didn't see the shot. It whistles wide of the near post. Kentucky still in possession. Tyler Koskren has it poked off his stick. Garrett Arini now in control for NC State. Has McConaughey coming with him. Arini steps away from one hit but can't keep the puck. And now Kentucky moving forward. Wrist shot coming, extending the pad. Eric Daniel makes the save. He'll cover up. And another face-off coming. But the other problem right now for NC State, we're down to 4:48 to go in this one. Down to, you're starting to kind of approach, you get a look at that last entry for Arini. But you're starting to get close to that time where you want to pull Eric Daniel for the extra skater. That's something we mentioned. NC State practice, last day in practice was the extra skater situation. As it skitters out front off the faceoff, backhander by D'Amico. Missed wide, NC State able to clear. But if you're NC State, in order to get Eric Daniel out of the net, you got to establish some offensive zone time. And they have not been able to do that since early on in this period.
Yeah, and again, Kentucky right there, able to keep it in the neutral zone. They'll send it in on another dump. Their forecheck from Kentucky. It's just been phenomenal ever since that first intermission. NC State's going to try to break one out now.
Beautiful passing through the neutral zone. Here's Kaufman. He only had one hand on the stick.
Penalty, though.
Flipped it in on Allen, who held on, and we'll see what the whistle is here. It did look like there was a little bit of grabbing of Kaufman there.
Yeah, they're calling a penalty on Connor Underwood, I think.
This should be a pretty good view of it here.
Excuse me, my bad. That's Alex Rakitic, and he is in the box. So 4:09, NC State on the power play. Chris, do you pull Eric Daniel during this power play?
Yeah, this is the top power play unit for NC State. And with 4:09 to go. This is a power play you really got to score on. Fourth power play of the period. NC State was 1 for 3 on the man advantage this game coming into the third. So they're already with more total power plays this period than the rest of the game. And keep an eye a little bit early. You wonder how aggressive NC State gets down 2 with the man advantage, though, if they consider pulling Eric Daniel. Cade Cox up top, throws it through traffic. Ready for it was Allen, and he'll hold on for another faceoff. But that's I think what NC State's looking for is they want to create a little bit of movement, and then they want to fire the puck through traffic and try and catch Riley Allen off guard. They're going to get it back to the point again. Herman quickly across for Cade Cox, throws it towards the net. Ready for it once again, Riley Allen. And he'll hold on for another faceoff. But this is a great way, if you're Kentucky, to kind of kill the penalty. You don't allow NC State to get much going. You create a really choppy power play with all these faceoffs. This is the third faceoff of the power play. We've only had 16 seconds of it. This time Kentucky wins the draw. Unable to clear, though, as Herman pinches on the near wall. NC State with numbers will control. It's Philip Bailey. Back to Herman. Looking to the middle. His pass intercepted as he sent it straight to Dan Cortapella, who clears it all the way down. 3.5 to go now. 1:20 left on the power play for NC State. Philip Bailey goes backwards for Cox. Cade Cox hooked up, taken down. This one's not going to draw a penalty. Here comes a 2-on-1 for Kentucky, shorthanded. Shot save made by Daniel. Cortapella has the rebound. He'll be forced into the corner. NC State going to collect the loose puck now, but Kentucky got away with one. I will say, I think kind of the holding penalty they called on Rakitic was maybe a little bit soft, so they get away with the one that was very clearly a hook.
Bit of a makeup call there.
The NC State have to find a way to fight through it here and create some chances. They have not had many good chances on this power play. Kentucky again shorthanded in control. Parker Rice just going to pin it to the wall in front of the NC State bench, down to 30 seconds left on the power play. And they're going to whistle it dead here as you see Rice getting up off the ground.
Before that turnover by the Ice Pack, Eric Daniel was all the way up to the face-off circle. He was ready to come out, looking over to the bench. But again, that neutral zone turnover cost him, and then just lost footing there. That's Parker Rice, who just lost his footing, and he was on top of the puck. Nothing really could do. Refs couldn't see it, so they blew it dead, and they'll come to the neutral zone. It's going to be the center circle.
2:41 to go now. Going to keep an eye on Eric Daniel the next time NC State is able to get set up in the offensive zone. Kentucky wins the center ice draw and clears it deep. 20 seconds left on the power play for NC State. Knocked off the puck there, that was McConaughey. This is an impressive effort from Kentucky shorthanded this late in the game. NC State back in possession once again. McConaughey has to loop back. Power play coming to a close. NC State 0 for 4 on the man advantage here in the third period. You can see Daniel already making his way out of the net. Looks like he will stay, though, as Kentucky forces it right back into their offensive end. Now they've got numbers. Walking in, shot coming. Daniel makes the save, and Wildcats couldn't get to the rebound. Clearing attempt is held in at the line. NC State just really struggling right now. Delaney already has one. Rips that one wide, and now NC State can move. Daniel looking to his bench with under 2 minutes to go. NC State brings it in. Govea takes the shot, steered wide by the stick
And Daniel's
of
on the
Allen.
bench, extra man out.
That extra man is Herman. Puck loose on the near wall. Cox holds the zone, throws it towards the net, patted away by Allen. They'll fight for it behind the net. Clearance held in on the far side, kicked along by Alex James. He has his stick lifted, loses the puck, picked up by Nick Delaney. He's going to float one towards the net and score. That one will likely finish it. Delaney with his second of the game. It is the 5th unanswered goal for the Wildcats, and that one's probably the icing on the cake for the road team.
Yeah, NC State, they just could not establish, even on that power play up 5-4, and then you go up 6-5 with the empty net. They couldn't establish any offensive zone presence. Kentucky's just been flying to the puck. They've been being the more physical team, like we mentioned, all night. And that empty netter basically pretty much seals it with 76 seconds left, Chris.
We talked a lot about how we felt like that NC State forecheck had been wearing down Kentucky a little bit. And I wonder if maybe NC State just expended a little bit more energy than they were thinking they were on that earlier portions of the game. And now looks like Scott Daniel kind of taking out his frustrations a little bit. He's been getting into it behind the play ever since that whistle.
Kentucky bench will give it to him. Not too sure what they're about to call.
This is probably going to be unsportsmanlike on Scott Daniel.
There wasn't really much there, but referee's trying to take control of the game now with a minute left. Power play Kentucky, get that score differential up if they really want to.
So Daniel to the box. Well, actually, he has been sent off. I think whether it was something he said or the swing he took at the penalty box with his stick, the officials did send him to the locker room.
Frustrating night for the Ice Pack ever since that first period, and Daniel kind of sums it up there. I think he is gone out of the game. It's Bressingham's in the box now for him.
Just 60 seconds left, a 5-2 lead for Kentucky. 5 unanswered, including 3 here in the third period. But NC State gonna have to go back to drawing board a bit after this game. And take a look at where they can clean things up. Kentucky bringing it in. 36 seconds left as it's slugged behind the net by D'Amico. Loose puck, but the official lost sight of it. And so it'll be a face-off in the NC State zone after the whistle.
Yeah, I think for NC State, we got to go back to the drawing board like you said. I think that forecheck, Kentucky just made a good answer for it. And NC State didn't really have anything ready for it. And Kentucky just, ever since they had those 2 goals, they have had all the energy. They've been there for every play. They've made every play. They've had a couple of lucky bounces for them. And now for the Pack, it's going to be on to the next one for them, which is going to be on the road for 2 at Penn State.
Another big test for NC State. Beginning of their schedule, not easy. Of course, a big win over ECU to start the season, but you play the Division I team up at Liberty. Then you have a Kentucky team who is fresh off an appearance at Nationals, and then another powerhouse in club hockey in Penn State. But a tough one for NC State tonight. They got off to a great start, and then it was Riley Allen shutting the door, and his team was able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, 30 of 32 save there from Allen. Fantastic job in net and really defensively for Kentucky after allowing those goals at the end of the first and right at the beginning of the second. And Kentucky's going to walk out with their first division win, 5-2.
So NC State falls to 1-2 after their second loss in a row. As Nick mentioned, next weekend the Ice Pack will be up in Happy Valley to take on Penn State as they continue a tough test. But 5 unanswered goals for Kentucky, including 3 in the third period, are the difference here tonight as the Wildcats come in to North Carolina and take down the NC State Ice Pack 5-2. We'll be back with post-game coverage here on PackTV.
Life is for learning, and that doesn't stop with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top.
of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It was a tough third period for your NC State Ice Pack as they fall by a final count of 5-2 at the hands of the Kentucky Wildcats. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena. Tough one for NC State, but I think really kind of the story of the game for Kentucky. They did a good job of finding the back of the net when they needed to, but I think there were a couple of times where they needed some help, and they got that help back between the pipes from Riley Allen.
Yeah, and really to key on one of the saves he made that left me in awe. I'm still in awe from it. He made that stick save. I believe it was on the power play. If that goes in, NC State takes a 3-2 advantage in this game, and things turn. The crowd energy gets back, the team energy gets back, because ever since Kentucky scored those first two to tie the game up, they had all the energy. They were making all the plays. They were there at the puck. They had all the bounces. That save by Kyle Allen, that's why you have a goalie like him back there to make saves like that, and he certainly turned this game upside down, and he kept it in the hands of Kentucky to control.
Well, and you saw, as we mentioned, Kentucky able to find the back of the net when they needed to. LaRue with a nice shot. Nick Delaney with a nice shot as well to beat Eric Daniel. He certainly can't fault the netminder for NC State. I'm not sure he had quite as many sparkling saves as Riley Allen did, but still some very solid saves to keep NC State within striking distance while they still had that opportunity. But if you're NC State, I think you have to go back and figure out what Kentucky did to really smother you, because we talked about the energy of the crowd early, and you could tell after that second goal, Kentucky did a great job of getting control of the game and getting control of the crowd and really silencing them.
Yeah, and I think it kind of boils down to NC State's lack of success on that power play. They went 0 for 4 that third period. They had a lot of good chances, and that last power play they had, trying to pull their goalie, get the sixth attacker out there, they couldn't establish anything in that offensive zone. And that kind of sums up really the last 35, 40 minutes of this game for NC State. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. Kentucky was there. Kentucky's forecheck actually looked a lot better than NC State's for most of the game ever since NC State went up 2-0. So I think for NC State, it's going to be back to the drawing board in terms of that power play and kind of making adjustments to that forecheck. It seems like Kentucky did a good job on their back check to kind of counteract, and NC State really didn't have any answers for it the rest of the game.
Yeah, and if you're NC State, we talked about it before last weekend, that Liberty game, kind of a measuring stick against the Division I level competition. This week, kind of a measuring stick against some of the best Division II competition in a Kentucky team that went to nationals last year. And obviously still a little bit to clean up for NC State, but it is early on in the season. We're going to take a quick break here in our post-game coverage. When we come back, we'll take a look ahead at the series against Penn State. 5-2 final, NC State falls to Kentucky.
We talk forever about the future, worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths
So
to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make. With bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
A tough result again for NC State here at home against the Kentucky Wildcats. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you on PackTV. Post-game, after a 5-2 decision went the wrong way for the Ice Pack. And, Nick, we've kind of talked a little bit about what went wrong for NC State here this evening in this game and led to that loss. Now let's kind of look forward to this Penn State series. 2 games up in Happy Valley next weekend. It's a team that's probably not quite as skilled, not quite as good as Kentucky, but it's going to be another tough road test for NC State.
And you mentioned it, it's going to be a tough road test. Those fans up there in Happy Valley, if you've never seen a Penn State hockey game, you should probably tune into their football game tomorrow night where they have a whiteout. They are some of the most craziest fans in the country, and they're going to make it hard on any team that plays there, Chris. Now, the Ice Pack were fortunate enough to play Liberty last week in a very similar environment that was sold out and a very raucous crowd that they had there. However, coming off the loss tonight, things might be down headed into back-to-back games against Penn State.
Yeah, NC State definitely going to look to bounce back. I think most importantly is they're just going to have to find a way to get their groove, and it feels like, you know, for the most part, there are small spurts for this team that lead to the mistakes that end up in the back of their net, and you know, those are the things they're going to have to work on cleaning up. Some of those breakout passes that led to good chances for Kentucky. I'm not sure any of them led to goals, but a couple of bad turnovers in your own slot, on your own blue line, never a good place to turn it over, and it led to chances for Kentucky. So that's certainly something I think they'll look to clean up in practice this week.
Yeah, and NC State also had trouble getting the breakout pass themselves. They had a couple of times where it took a bounce or it was too far across the blue line, ended up in an icing, or Kentucky was able to take it the other way, have another great opportunity on that end. So I think NC State, they got to play a little more crisper, I think. Last time they played at home was against ECU, and last week against Liberty was a tough task. But coming against Kentucky, a team that they should be even with, they pretty much were for that first period, but ever since then, they kind of just lost that crisp edge that they normally have, and I think that's what cost them tonight.
Yeah, so NC State will look to bounce back next weekend as they head up to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. For tonight, NC State falls by a final count of 5-2. We're going to step aside briefly. Hopefully we'll come back and wrap it up with head coach Tim Healy here on PackTV.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Chris Lehman back with head coach Tim Healy of the NC State Ice Pack after a tough decision 5-2 loss against the Kentucky Wildcats. And, Coach, start by talking about the start of the game. It felt like the forecheck was working. You had all the control. You get the goal late in that first period and another one early in the second. What changed after that for you guys?
Well, I think, obviously 5-on-5, a lot of 5-on-5 play. We carried that. Technically, the goal in the start of the second was right around on the power play, but I think it was coming at the end of it. So, we're really playing well as a team. We're sticking to the structure, sticking to the script. And then, we got punched in the mouth and we didn't respond, right? And so, Mike Tyson has saying, everyone has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth, right? And then it's how you respond. And, tonight we're a young team, 45% of our players are new, and we didn't respond the way we needed to when we figuratively got punched in the mouth.
Yeah, and you've had a couple of physical opponents these last two games against Liberty and Kentucky. But what else was Kentucky doing? It seemed like their forecheck kind of got going on you guys and made it tough to get out of your own zone late in that game.
I think there was that. I think we lost our rhythm. I think you saw a lot of, credit to them, right? When they had opportunities, they buried, I think, was it the third or fourth goal was a snipe when, our D blew a tire. But they capitalized, right? And then, we can stand here and say a lot of things. Their goalie played a heck of a game, right? When it was 2-2, he made that paddle save on the power play. That was a big turning point in the game, right? So he came across, made that paddle save. We go up 3-2. Instead we don't. They come back down and they go up. And I think it was a goal that kind of knocked off a guy in the front, and that was kind of all she wrote in some ways.
Yeah, well, you do have another tough test coming up. You got a couple of games up in Pennsylvania against Penn State next weekend. What do you look at practice? What do you work on to move forward and improve on what you've seen from your team this weekend?
It's Alex James was just talking about it's a matter of consistency, right? You were at our practice last night, and our game looked a lot of what you saw at practice last night until about the 15-minute mark in the second period. And, right now I actually hear the Kentucky and their parents, out there cheering like they've been trying to get us for a while. So, even though you're new to NC State, you're not new to being the hunted, right?
Yeah.
And that notion that it's going to mean a lot to those other teams to get us, because we've been beating on teams in a long time, right? So it's their chance to come around, and we just weren't ready for that pushback tonight.
All right, one last question for you, Coach. It's head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack with us. What was the message in the locker room? Obviously, you addressed, the things that went wrong, but what's the message moving forward with a loss like this early in the year?
Well, I think, it's you hit on a key point. It is early in the year, right? What are you going to learn from it? What are you going to take about it? I actually asked the guys to be introspective, and, that includes us as the coaches. What do I have to, what do I need to do to be better, to make sure, a game like this doesn't happen again, because it was there. We had this game, right? We're up to, we carried the play in the first period. I think at one point the shots were 20-8, and the wheels came off.
Yep. All right, Coach, thank you so much for the time, and good luck next weekend.
All right, thanks, Chris. Go Pack.
That's head coach Tim Healy of the NC State Ice Pack. We'll wrap it up here from Invisalign Arena. NC State falling. Final count, Kentucky 5, NC State 2.